Chapter 81. Special Circumstances Half-elf, last part. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Kuziu, first of all, take off that heavy armor. Please clean your body properly. Ah, yes, it's still a strange armor. Oh, is that so? I think it's not so weird compared to Celesta's different races. Well, yes, but, at least not a trot product, right? Shall I repair it? Repair? Oh, in the old days, I was used to repair the armored guards of the frontiers. My dead husband was a blacksmith. I see, then I will accept your offer. It's an embarrassing story, but as you can see, it's a foreign product and it's tempting to put it out in a regular blacksmith. Someone has been working on it, but it hasn't been maintained properly in recent years. Yeah, then I will try to do as much as I can, and for the time being, try to wear these clothes, a sweater. It's huge for Marie. Dono, my size is a bit smaller. I got it for my son. You have a son. I'm sorry, but I can't stay here. It's okay. He isn't here. What? He was living in the remote town of Polka some years ago with me. From there, when he was 10 years old, he went out to study blacksmithing in the royal capital, but he was pulled out by the Celesta army. No matter how many years passed, there was no sound from the blacksmith here worked for or from him. Maybe he died. I see. I'm sorry, it probably was painful. It's okay, he only might be dead. His bones didn't come back. Polka is a cold town, so I have knitted a sweater with the expectation that he would come back someday. It became a habit, and I always imagine the height of my son by looking at the neighboring children. From the age of becoming an adult, I knit it behind my husband's back. I'm sorry I didn't care about you. It would be imprudent to you to wear anything knitted for my dead child. No problem. Marie. Dono, thank you very much for letting me wear it. That night we were put into the prison of the military police. I'm sorry that everything is checked out, he said, and the military soldier put his hands together. Because the hotel in that area is expensive, we stayed here. Above all else, I'm afraid as Spearwoman Almeida is somewhere in this town. And the next day, with mats and blankets brought by the military police, mainly to Maya, the morning is much more comfortable than in a hotel. However, before the morning sun had risen, I was awakened by the noise in the general office. What happened? What's up? Selenium, who was leaning on my shoulder, looked at me. Maya still clings to my knees in a sleepy state. When? Here. Suddenly, when I thought that someone had looked into the prison, a lot of people rushed into the hallway in front of the jail and broke the grid of the jail quickly. After all, Smithson. Dono, Maya. And Selenium. Dono. When he saw our faces, a beautiful young elf with long hair cried out. Gorkas. It was Gorkas, the clan chief of the Orange clan who we fought together in the Northern Elf territory. And for a while, as I was surprised at the reunion, Gorkas directed a sword to the guards behind him. Let me explain, you've put our allies in jail in some way. Depending on things, our Orange clan can't kept silent. Wait, he misunderstood it. Smithson. Dono, I know that you are a brave and respectful person, but for unreasonable brutality, a firm attitude is required. I will do it even if disagree with the human race. That's what we are owing to you. Wait. We just borrowed the jail. Ha. There was something a little bothersome. Yesterday. Good morning, Marie. Dono, good morning, Almeida. San. Have you slept well? I'm sorry, for occupying the bed. It's fine. Look at that, is it okay? Oh, the armor is new. I didn't have many tools, so I was able to do it, but because the joint on the left shoulder is about to reach the limit soon, you'd better ask a blacksmith for repairing it, even if you feel a little depressed. But if you can't do it in a couple of times, it may get broken and taken off. No, I am grateful. I will surely repay you for this kindness. It's okay because it only was the comfort of a widow. Nevertheless, you dropped something in the canal, right? I'm going to go to the fish market now, but do you want me to ask the young child who's good at diving? No, I will dive in myself. If there is only this day, there is no problem. Gorkas seems to have come here to accompany the elves who study abroad. The Folklore Institute is relatively active in accepting elves. I'm really sorry. No, I'm glad you understood that it was only a misunderstanding. The commander of the military police feels sorry to accept Gorkas' deep bow. Like the dragons, the northern elves must be unknown. You don't want to worry too much about it. Even so, to rent a jail as a sleeping place. What kind of situation is it to be troubled? While Maya is also here, we've been attacked by a film elf paladin elf. Can you tell me more? No, we're not sure if we're going to let you hear it. Gorkas tightens his neat face and looks around us slowly. The elf on the Afilm Peninsula is our branch as well as the original. You are the blessed man of our 9 clans, and turning the blade against you deserves to be excommunicated. Nonetheless, if we can do it properly, we can stop the dismay. Cold, have you found it? Yes, iron cane, and your wallet. It's nice not to be a light one that flows, surely, even though, you are bold. A young girl who is naked and jumped into the canal, it's a good idea to say such things, but shouldn't you be a little more modest? It's not uncommon for me to be able to see bare skin on the battlefield. It's not okay to leave the search for my belongings to others, and the sweater of your son is getting wet and stretched out. If you'd told me, I'd have done something about it. I found it. Let's say it's all right. Chuckle, you're not good at spoiling people. Almeida.san, my dead husband was a man who was very sweet. It's not something you've given up so much. That's right. Normally, yes, but when I think now, it was a wonderful thing. In the old days, I used to think that people were just annoying and embarrassed. But you know, it's warm to have someone who's going to come out into this city and cause trouble and someone who's going to bother you. I think warm. 'Cause it's a connection. Trouble someone, apologize and pay for it. You're being bothered, forgive me, help me. It's still warm to be able to repeat that kind of thing without worrying about it. And my husband wasn't a man who hesitated to apologize, pay back, and return. Even if the other party said, it was good, he returned even if it was mean. Thanks to him, I was very much at a loss, but I liked it a lot. Almeida.san, it may be a virtue that you cannot afford, but I think that it is not a vice either. Marie, you, be good at spoiling. I feel like you look like me. Gorkas, who heard about the story roughly, nodded forcefully. Deep green Almeida. I have heard of her. I don't know how she would end up being out of a film's protection, speaking, communicating. Now that I've heard it, I'd like you to leave it to us. If she attacks Smithson. Dono again, we'll pick her up. That's reliable. Gorkas is said to be a good swordsman just like Red Clan's Deal, who bought out his private soldiers to subjugate monsters near the Holy Beast Labyrinth. At least he seems to have the ability of N0's and Aurora class. But the essential Almeida, I don't know if it's just that she fell into the canal, we don't know where she came out from. Maybe she went downstream, maybe she crept up and lurks around that area. Either way, it's hard for us to keep that trend down. The town of Folklore is wide and complex, so the number of elves isn't enough. Then I'll be with you as an escort. You have come to this city for a purpose. Do it. In the meantime, Almeida should show up. If she shows up, we'll intercept her. I think this is the best way. That's right, that means going back to find her spear or something like that. I'm feeling that she is too ashamed now, but, even though Gorkas.san is saying so, there is nothing wrong with doing a homecoming without doing anything. Freeze and kill in large areas. No, we're not going to do that. Well, I decided not to go at first, but after a few minutes of trouble, I go. Come to think of it, if it's a military policeman, they should be familiar with the streets to some extent, right? Yes. It is not going to be a story if they don't have a land book to keep the security. Selenium talks and the captain of the military police feel proud now. Well, we don't know if a middle-aged woman named Smithson has moved in the last few years because Maya.Chan went on a rampage yesterday. I'd like to wait a bit. Hey, who is in charge of Island 18? It's Cornell. Call Cornell to come here and ask him if he knows that woman. After a few minutes, Cornell appeared. Smithson. I don't know the names clearly because there are so many people coming and going, but several middle-aged women are living alone. A woman with maroon hair who is about 50 years old but may still look to be in her 40, thinking a little. There should be a few more hints that Apple gave. I think she is working with fish or wool. Yes, there's a widow who's out there to clean up the fish market there. It looks like she was called Aunt Marie. That's her. No, if you believe in Apple's divination and Selenium's profiling, though. Please show me around. Well, let's try. If we're wrong, we can go back to Polka again and divine again. Marie. Dono, can you listen to me? Yes, I am an elf. A paladin of the Half-elves Empire. I was a knight honored with the nickname Dancing Spear, so, forgive me for deceiving you. You are not surprised. I was a blacksmith's wife. From the style of the armor, I know about the place of production. I'm not so uneducated that I can't even tell the emblem. You're right, I'm a knight of the Ren Dukedom and a kind of military soldier in the Elves clan. Elves are a largely closed race, but the Ren Forest Elves are particularly fierce. It is excessively aimed to be a strong monolith because they pledge allegiance to the spirit of the light to live in the land while going out of the northern forest. It's a kind of fear politics by making the bloodless elves genus, which moves out of the will of the clans, to suffer from a disease that changes them into a tree and make them part of the forest. So, the unification of will brought a powerful force to the community, and I didn't doubt the policy. For an impurity that could not be part of the forest, it was a pity, but it was an honor on the other side. But, the central part of the Deep Green clan, the Grand Duchess of Ren ordered to harvest the trees of such mixtures for the construction of the new royal castle in Ren. Even though it was unrighteous, she split the bodies of the children and said they would use them for the royal castle. I wasn't convinced. And I finally realized my mistake for a long time. It was neither honor nor anything. It was only a procedure for the creepy cold maintenance that the old, worn out sensibility made up at the end of the repetition of each festival, which chased only the shadow of a far authority. It was nothing more than a procedure for a resolutely cold life that sensibility had built up, and I came to Trot, ashamed of myself, cutting off from my clan to compensate. Was it so? Trot is the first place for the mixtures to escape the chase of the Deep Green clan inspectors. It is said that Trot has become tolerant to the elves since the war. I decided to set up in Folklore, the gateway to the west of this country, and protect the escaped chaos with my own hands. Perhaps just hypocrisy. I just want to make amends. Even so, I can't think of anything else. It must be hard for Almeida. No. No, I guess. It was hard, but I carry a sin that cannot be spoiled by anyone. I don't think I should be spoiled. No, there is no such thing. Almeida. Even if I'm like this, can I learn how to indulge? Yes. Yes. It will be difficult. If hard people put up with it, even more, they will only run out of power. You still have a tomorrow to walk, Marie. Dono, Almeida, knocking on the door. I feel like I heard a voice saying, Kia. Who is it? There was a nostalgic voice from the inside. Are you Marie Smithson? When Cornell visits, a female voice said, yes. It is a hit. Mother, when I call out, the other side of the door is silent for a few seconds. My son died in the war, a confused voice. Well, no wonder. I know. She only knows my 10-year-old self from the time in Polka. She can't get my present figure or voice right away. Let's be patient. I heard it at Polka. My father, he is dead. I met Jackie. I saw the Baron, Keel from the bun shop, and Johnny from the liquor store. They all thought I was dead, but I'm alive. I'm a part of the Celesta army, with just a little of successful career. I'm alive and I'm back. I'm Andy, Mother, after a few more seconds of silence. Suddenly, the sound of something breaking across the wall can be heard. Is it a glass window? And the next moment, Gorkas, who was nearby, knocked me away. I flew from the top of the stairs to the road all at once, but I'm caught by Maya before falling to the ground and landed. And on the top of the stairs, a swung iron cane was smashing down the wooden stairs. Almeida. Gorkas dares to jump down the stairs to pull out his sword. As it was, the passage was narrow and I couldn't escape. Cornel.San is still stuck with his eyes in the top row without knowing what is happening. Next to him, for some reason, a sexy sweater-wearing Almeida stares at me with an iron cane on her side. And, ignoring Gorkas, she jumps first and landed on the ground. Maya, step back further with me in her arms. Securing a large place. The elves under Gorkas hold their weapons and harden around us. Almeida ignores Gorkas, who is pulling his sword behind her, and calmly transforms the iron cane into a spear. Are you the son of Marie Dono? He. Despite being born to such a great woman, garbage like you made a weak mixture a slave and you enjoy it, I can't overlook it. What's going on? Marie.San. I can hear Cornel's irritating voice from my mother's home. Smithson.San, your mother has fainted. Don't deduce at the moment you hear the voice. The cruel reality is for that person, I see. I don't understand well, but they know each other. Almeida. Unfortunately, you are probably misunderstanding, is the name carved on the collar of selenium, not yours. It's different, she is already an impurity. No, I'm not going to make her follow her destiny. Hear a little talk. The paladin in a naked sweater set up the spear deeply. Prepare. And she disappears. The spear stuck in a straight line to something standing in the middle. Selenium. Almeida opens her eyes. Selenium talks in breaks to Almeida, who is stunned. Almeida, talk, listen, I became happy, selenium, so, I. The spear was carried out beautifully in front of me. The weak bag that was around there. Almeida, with a desperate face, is in front of the wheat bag, which looks like selenium only to Almeida because of an illusion. On the other hand, selenium is perfectly fine and talks to Almeida with such a voice on purpose while supporting the wheat bag. You know, I became a slave, as proof of being a part of the person I love. It's a lie. That's. The military policeman and Gorkas approach from behind and pick up the spear. The wheat bag falls quickly. Almeida is obsessed with it. She seems to have noticed the illusion around here. Deep green Almeida. In the name of the Orange Clan, I Gorkas will restrain you, Almeida screams, comparing the hollowed wheat bag, her taken spear and selenium, who is standing calmly. What? What's up? Hey Andy Smithson. You're a coward. Well, calm down and let's talk. Okay. It's impossible. Almeida, who was detained by the silk chains brought by Gorkas, which seems to have been made at Misty Palace, the same one that Layla had, said in vain. It's funny no matter how you think about it. You became a female slave by yourself. I can't understand you as a woman. But there are 6 more people around Andy.San. I think he's using some kind of medicine. Almeida is raging. It's different. Dark green Almeida. Gorkas goes forward with a mysterious face. Smithson.Dono is a skilled animal trainer who is known throughout the northern forest. Please don't misunderstand me, but please shut up. Silence. And, of course, we can't inquire Almeida on the streets, so we borrowed my mom's house. And my mother seems to have woken up in the middle of the questioning. Andy.San is kind, brave and cool. Yeah. I'm glad to have such a good friend. That's why it's not common sense to have 7 female slaves on this trot's monogamy. How else do you interpret it? I'm sorry, but Andy.San is working for the Celesta army. You can't tie Andy.Sama down by Trot's law in the first place. He is a dragon rider of 2 dragons, no matter how long it is the fact, where is it? Gorkas. Dono, swear to the spirit of light and pick up only the facts. I can swear to the spirit of light, that all of this is true. When I was looking over the questioning in various ways, I was hit from behind with full strength. Ouch. Andy, what is it? Is what they're saying true? Good grief, I've always thought you were a leecher since you were little. I didn't think I would say that I can't face the world no matter how I look at female slaves or animal trainers. I thought you were going to be a blacksmith. I'm sorry, there are various reasons for this. What will you say to your deceased father? The reunion of me and my mother isn't as moving as I thought it will be. But it was good to see my mother while I was alive. It was really good. Chapter 82. Obstinate Paladin, Almeida, you are listening at novelfull.audio. We returned safely to Polka on schedule. Wasn't it important? Well, it was a bit of a nuisance. Diane looked suspicious. Speaking of all, why did you come back from the forest? I will talk about it now. Selenium and I exchanged bitter laughter, wondering if we wouldn't be able to hide our tired faces. It seems that my mother will live in folklore for the time being. The important house and the studio have been handed over to Jackie, and we, the Crossbow Corps, have no plans to settle in Polka. If I were to quit the army and stand out alone, would have to resume my blacksmith training first, and I couldn't live my life as I want. I got only a few sweaters that my mother had made in the last few years as souvenirs. That was enough to make me very happy. I'm not sure if it's just me or not. And Dancing Spear Almeida seems to have been escorted by the Green Clan for the time being. The Dark Green Clan of Ren Dukedom in a film has a history of being re-approved as a side clan by a group of fallen men who were expelled long ago from the Green Clan, taking the opportunity to complete control of the forests in the southern Afilm Peninsula. For now, it was a good idea to go through it. Old Man Shaquille from the Green Clan came and takes Almeida with him. If the story is settled well, it is said that Almeida can be judged. The head of the clan, Old Man Shaquille, had a tired face, but he said, well, after all, she is on the sidelines, so she can't fight back. We talked while having lunch at the new bar. Diane slightly frowned and put the cup down. What happens if the clan business is concluded? Well, for a while, imprisonment, I guess. I think that the Northern Forest now admits selenium and apple, and I don't think that Almeida, who is an ally of the Halves, is an extreme sinner. Diane shrugged. I don't think that's okay. The sin of the war is a crime of the war. Well, Dark Green, that's the story of the other forest. Surely the elves won't look heavy. But, although they misunderstood, the sin for aiming at you is quite heavy. No, but we are forgiven. It's a mistake. Calm down. For example, consider the case where the commercial king's assassination attempt was made. Do you think that you may be forgiven if you make a mistake? Imagine the end of Celesta's head of state, the man who tried to kill the trade king. Even if they are merciful on the spot, he will not return to his grandmother's side again. It is a good time to be stuck in a galley boat. I'm not an important person to that, but, well, if it was the commercial king, would it be life imprisonment? Speaking of that, a voice came in from an unexpected direction. The people of the Northern Forest follow dragons, and there is a direction that deified you as a great hero who examined the holy beast. Irina, the White Clan chief and the self-proclaimed elf ambassador to Trot, a little elf called Irina. Although she usually spends time in the Baron's mansion, she had appeared in the bar somehow. She grabbed my beer with both hands from the counter, which is a little high for her, and drank it. Good alcohol. It's more than that, it's deification. That's what I said. No, it was Old Man Bonaparte, Diane, and Layla who went on a rampage in that fight. There is no doubt about Bonaparte. Dono's bravery, but depending on your decision, Deal has been rescued. I wonder if Layla. Dono and Diane were the ones who fought hard, but I haven't done anything. That's what a general. How long have I been treated as a general? Seeing the astonishing me, Irina and Diane shrugged their shoulders. You underestimate your reputation. I'm always just there, I'm not doing much, that is that and this is this. Elves' blessings aren't as cheap as they say, to aim at you like that, a king, well, it's not just about blowing a fight on the folk grass, is it? Diane said briefly. She will be executed if you leave her alone. Wait. I panic. What's the matter? That Almeida is like a friend of my mother, what would she say if I let her friend die? As for me, I don't care if she dies like that, you're a really good person, Andy. Good grief, Diane sighed. She seems angry that I was attacked soberly. Well, I think you'd better tell them that. I hate the green Shaquille old man. Cool, if you're an ambassador, please get in there. Irina looks disgusted while eating the side dish of my plate without permission. This girl is useless. Next day. I was visiting the Green Clan with the guidance of Irina. The distance is not as far as it is said, because we can go there by instant movement from the Silver Clans, which is the nearest to Polka. Smithson. Dono, Gorkas, I've heard the story roughly. Gorkas nodded. However, since this guy also shows a huge misunderstanding on his face, it is not good. Dark green Almeida. As you can see, we were talking in the direction of execution. No. I'm a friend of his mother. It was a misunderstanding. Ha. So we suggested, that if you apologize to the Spirit of Light, we will release you, but we can't trust you. If you let the Spirit of Light hear such a thing, I insist that you choose death. Is that so bad? No, it's usually not good. It's like a dragon, isn't it? But I don't want to die. That's where we have a good idea. Gorkas brightened his smile with a face that rarely smiles. Next day. I was visiting the Green Clan again with Hilda. San. Where is Almeida? She is in prison. I don't think there's any danger in the first place because we've taken her weapon and her wrists are restrained with a silk chain. Well, if anything happens, I'll get Hilda. San to do something about it. Please leave it to me. Hilda waves her hand cutely to Gorkas. Gorkas turns red for a little while. He may be surprised. And Gorkas opens the barrier and guides us. The prison is the distorted space that I was put in when I was caught by phaser before, and now I return to the same place. In fact, there is no lattice, and contrary to the image of a prison, it is comfortable to be able to sleep in an open private house. You, Andy Smithson. Hey, under such circumstances, Almeida was sitting on the shore of the miraculous spring. She looks at me and stands up, but because she is restrained by a silk chain, she really can't do anything. Because it is a hidden treasure that can't be cut off with an odd blade, I can feel safe. Almeida, will you apologize to me? At first, I ask. Me, apologize to a man like you? A weak and underhanded man. Something might have been used even if it was a woman slave, or it was blindness. You coward, perhaps it is not a mistake. Other than that, I can't say anything clearly. It happened with some luck, timing, individual hobbies, rivalry and so on, but, indeed, I can't say I'm too weak and alive compared to a paladin. Hugh. Then I can't help. What is it? This is not my real intention. However, if you die, what will I say to my mother? Don't get close. I get close to Almeida and slowly push her down. When I look sideways, Hilda is loosening her clothes happily while making a thumbs up. If you don't know what to say, show off your arms. What? I mean, you should show off your ability as an animal trainer in bed, as you did with Purple Clan's Apple, who had no memories, or how you satisfied the female dragon of the Misty Palace, or how you seduced the Sky Blue Clan's princess who is known for her martial arts. The proof is that Smithson. Dono is surrounded by women. Gorkas. I said it many times, but I don't remember becoming that kind of profession. I'm a boneless person, so I don't study the details, but the achievements you've made are true, right? Well, if you look only at the surface, I feel like it's not wrong. If you don't understand, you can think about another plan. Fortunately, we can only postpone the disposition while you are long-minded and you're not giving up on her. I hope she won't get angry later. There is no reason to be angry with you. Why did I bring Hilda? 1. First of all, if it is a virgin, her help will smooth the pain. 2. To have the birth control magic because it is not good if she becomes pregnant with a child she doesn't want. 3. Hilda is the only one who can assist with erotic. Stop it. Dark elf. What? I came to teach you because you can't believe Andy. Kuhn's amazing skills against woman. I'm sorry, I have no idea what's great about me. In front of my eyes, Almeida was hung with a string on the bough of a wrist, instead of a tree branch. The half-naked Hilda cuts through the rustic armor of Almeida with a scissor mercilessly. Yeah, don't look, you beast. No, I will look, Almeida, your style is comparable to selenium. Don't look. Don't look. Well, it is not possible to don't look even if she says that I shall not look. Are you a virgin? You were a well-established military officer until now. I wonder if it's funny, why are you on the side of this man? Well, I'm also one of Andy. Kuhn's woman, although I'm a married woman and I'm sorry for my husband, but Andy. Kuhn is great. Hi. Please don't mislead her with false information. How many times have I said I don't remember making Hilda a female slave? It's fine, a woman is made to be satisfied by a man. There is nothing to fear. Stop, don't touch. Almeida shakes her nice but in a way that asserts her self-asserted breasts, which are probably expressed by the strongest erotic fingers of Celesta. It will be scary for her that sexual feeling is greatly erupting by fearful skills. Almeida is crying weakly with tears. It's a little creepy to see it. Well, it is not good. She should be a similar sadist. It should not be real, just playing sad to get pleasure from each other smoothly like the masochistic Layla. Normally she swings her spear around, but watching the bullish and harsh Almeida being teased and atrophied, there's something, Certainly, there is excitement erupting. Here it is, a present from Hilda. San, what good, the magic that strokes the lower abdomen. Contraception magic. Now she will not get pregnant for some days, at least for a few days. It should be. Pregnancy magic. Hi, what is it? The story is different. Hilda. San winks at me so as not to be seen by Almeida. It's a bluff. Well, if there is such useful magic, Hilda would already use it for everyone. It will also be a measure against the population of the northern elves. This magic, with the magic made recently in the south, if you have sex while taking it, you will almost certainly be able to make a baby. But, you said you didn't know as a woman, that you're going to have a child from Andy. Kuhn from now on, right? Selenium.Chan and Maya.Chan will also become pregnant. We all are going to have a baby for sure from now on. Disgusting, that's all there is to it, No, don't talk about women like that. So please chew well and enjoy the pleasure, the wonder of being born a woman, feel the joy of being able to give everything to a gentle and wonderful boy to the core of your heart and body. Hilda. San pinches her clit. That much shaking, Almeida convulses with her whole body only and releases love juice. Hilda. San's erotic skills are amazing. Even I who is a man can be made to climax without knowing in a few seconds if she gets serious. It is not difficult to imagine how much it will be tossed if the technique is used by a woman who shares the point of pleasure. In such a situation, I take off my pants and approach Almeida, who has been completely irritated regardless of her consciousness. Almeida looked at me with empty eyes. It seems she says that she doesn't want to be bullied any longer with a weak, fleeting expression. I'm terribly excited. I want to cry. Almeida. I will ravish you. No, even though I wasn't accepted, I had a sad switch on, and I broke into the legs that Hilda, who was still entangled from behind, pulled and lifted up and I pushed a bit into Almeida. I penetrate Almeida's virgin hole. I thought it was quite painful, but Almeida put out her tongue, dropped her eyebrows and was doing yoga. This is magic that will make her feel good even if it hurts, it was a wager. You devil, Hilda must never turn to an enemy in bed. Stop. I'm really sorry, again. I'm really sorry, I apologize, as it is, I'm sure she never gave in to the pain. However, the woman's pleasure of being twice as powerful as a man was dragged out by Hilda. In full swing and Almeida was raising the white banner already, almost losing her identity. But it is useless, I was extremely excited by Almeida's tears. Almeida cries for forgiveness while crying. She has been rattled by her identity with pleasure. What kind of face would it be if I ejaculate completely in her womb that is supposed to become pregnant? What kind of thing will she say if I pour semen over and over again inside her? Such downed interest swells within my chest. That's why Andy.Cohen. You are a peerless lecher. I'll move now, and I hold Almeida's waist and move in and out. Hiya. It was just Almeida. Almeida also tries to appeal for something while barely supporting her clouded consciousness. I poke and push up. I started to sit down while enjoying Almeida's reaction. Ya, triple A, aga, stop, no, stop. Almeida, I'm sorry, so please stop, here, stop. Almeida, get pregnant, with a child. Hugh. No, as Almeida opens her eyes to fear, I came near her ears with my face. Almeida. Almeida, receive my child with this womb, give birth, many times. Yeah, triple A, I'm going to let you become pregnant as often as you want, you don't have a spear, you have these tits. With this arm, you're going to hold my child and raise it, a half-elf between you and me. I have a strange pleasure switch to bully Almeida. I completely let her fall from a paladin into a woman, by whispering the words that stimulate Almeida begging as a woman. Almeida looked at her breasts which are held by me and seemed to imagine herself giving milk to our child for the first time. My child, give birth. Yeah, and while giving milk to our child, I will get fucked by me every day like this, you're going to feel better. Hiya, and I wouldn't have imagined it for a moment until now, such a woman who wants it violent, is dreamed of myself with pleasure. No. She refused. Stop. I don't want you to turn me into a woman anymore, Her refusal is resistance to sweet corruption. No more, don't teach me that. The fear of turning into something completely different. She shakes like falling down in intense pleasure while tasting it. Weeping and crying, I can read that much information from Almeida's face who became crazy and irritating desire in me is shaken. Give up, Almeida, yeah. Bayurururu. And, she fainted after receiving my ejaculation while not knowing which way her mind inclined. Right. Hilda's mass ejaculation magic was applied on my dick before, commonly known as sperm hell, and the ejaculation which was about to burst the womb was beaten into Almeida. Incontinence. Squirting. Semen that let the belly swell. Tears. Drool. Almeida weakens after getting rid of all liquids. I slowly lowered Almeida to the ground and I sighed. What am I doing? I have seen it, after a long time Andy.Cohen's full-scale offensive attack. Hilda.San, I got wet, hey. Hilda takes off her underwear and throws it away. I'm going to burn the rest of my sexual desire like fire and get close to Hilda.San. While I still drip a little semen. I am scared of myself sometimes, yes, but that's okay, Andy.Cohen is great. while pushing Hilda down and making her but stick out while doing something ecky with much effort like a sort of gymnastics. I was thinking about what I was trying to do. After a while, Almeida woke up when I come the third time into Hilda. That's a foul play. The magic borrowed from another person, it's not much different from a fake. Almeida opposes with tears eyes. Then what do you want me to do? Well, do it without the dark elf over there, coward. Is it all right to do? And the second round. Also when I ejaculated, Almeida was begging forgiveness while crying. She is weak. So, after all, there is no execution. Yes, a few days later, I returned to Polka and reported to Diane. Acknowledging my talent for making female slaves, Almeida seems to have settled down for the time being among elves because the apology of swearing to the spirit of light was done, though it did not shape, it was in shape of admitting defeat because she was made to give in without standing up by the supremacy by all means by sex, and she was made to surrender. I feel like I've accelerated the misunderstanding of Gorkas, but it was good anyway. And when I was relieved. Andy Smithson. The door of the new bar is blown off as it is opened and the dancing spear appears abruptly. Nah, yo, you come back to folklore. More than that. The stupid spear elf who approaches me, and grips my chest with some tears in her eyes. My period has come, she says so with a face that seems very regrettable. Ha. I'm going to get pregnant by magic. She is a fool. I wonder if it is my body that can't give birth to a child. Why don't you see Hilda? And I'm glad we couldn't have children like that. Almeida opens her eyes with a surprise. And after a while, she turns red. Well, of course, I didn't want to give birth. It seems that I wasn't able to give birth to your child. Hide your voice, she stops again. And Almeida's ears turn red. I was hit on the head. Oh. I'm going around. I hate you a lot. As it was, Almeida went out of the bar and left the stun me behind. Even so, why did she come? Chapter 83. Everybody laughing, Spring Festival. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 2 weeks after Almeida's riot. There are still many snowfields in Polka, but weeds are starting to appear on lands other than the river, and it will be a spring full of flowers that bloom in the capital city and south of it. I think it's time to get ready for the Spring Festival. Go to a23.year. Old ogre regular soldier who risks his life to masturbate, asks me this question. A festival held in Polka when the snow melts. It's simple as it's just an amateur band playing music and others are just dancing in the city square. Almost all the residents are involved, But it looks like it's fun. Well, I'm still doing it. The Smithson squad returns from shooting training. After tidying up, it's a happy time to think about going to the bath or get a drink from now on. In front of us, a pretty girl in travel clothes came running up to me. E.M. We all have a question mark on our faces for a few seconds. And, though the girl is good to have called out, she is at a loss what to say next. Then, Lance, a23.year. Old human regular soldier who risked his life for masturbation, clapped his hand. Sylvia. Yes. Lance, you know her. Not good 10. Man Captain. She is Boyd's girlfriend. I looked at her for a while, but I forgot because I didn't know much about her. And Boyd's girlfriend was certainly living in Basun. Yes. I live in Basun. Sylvia. Put more effort into the shoulder than necessary, probably because she is carrying something annoying on her shoulder. Aren't you far away from Basun? Yes, it was very far, but still, she smiled. Arnie. Cohen, I'd like to see Soldier Boyd, Ewa. You're loved, Boyd. For now, Celesta's trot trip has no legal obstacles, but it takes courage for Celesta and girls to travel alone. There are by no means many trots who have an opposition to the Celestas. To be honest, I have to say that the journey to this faraway place is very brave. I can't believe you were traveling to a place like this. We would be back soon, oh, but no one knows when you would come back. When I asked people from the army, tentatively, there are 2 soldiers in Bassin's Corps building as facility managers. I mean soldiers, 2 middle-aged men of the Supply Corps dispatch, as they are usually making a mess. Super shadowy. But when we will be back, it is not known yet. Is that so? How did you get here? Oh, I heard that you have a mission in the royal capital, so I went to the royal capital once and then I asked the soldiers of the royal capital. You have a lot of courage. I didn't get caught even though it was strange. Sylvia.San laughs at the sight of our amazed glances. I had a reliable companion. Almost as soon as she said that, from the bar, Noah. I heard a cow's cry and maybe the sound of the destruction of a table. Is that? Maybe yes. So, sorry. I beg you for forgiveness, Moo, Carrie.Ni.Chan, you idiot, I was lonely. In the bar, there was Ox.Ogre tightly hugged so that foam comes out of his mouth by a wolf.girl. She is very similar to Mikagami regular soldier. Isaac, what action should I take? It is easy to disturb, but it is not easy to wake up to sleep, so when I hear that I'm scared, Isaac desperately gestures, give me a break, by moving his mouth. He seems to be holding his breath. However, I wonder if I can fight against Isaac's strenuous strength. When I stared at Isaac for 2 seconds staring at the crying wolf girl, I made a face that made Isaac crying. And, Sylvia.San interrupts. Kate.Chan, let him go. 10. Captain Isaac seems to be in pain. Reluctantly, the wolf woman releases Isaac and Isaac takes a breath. Gufu, the air is delicious, Isaac, as for this. Isaac says that. And, the guys from Isaac's squad around me explain. She is the sister of Mikagami regular soldier, and 10. Captain Isaac is 2. Timing. He is having a sister bowl, I see. I wonder if he should have been a little more nervous. You're not the only one, Smithson. And, when such an idiot story is done, it seems that the messenger sent to the inn has finally arrived and Boyd arrives at the bar. Sylvia.San. Arnie.Kun, Sylvia.San rushed to Boyd, removing the shawl. Boyd raises and embraces her fervently. Come to think of it, we stayed a little too long here. Isaac nods as I mutter and raised Mikagami's sister up, who is crying. This place is also cozy, but it's almost time for the tide. Yes, Polka is not our place. We are all hot spring guests. It may be time to put on the lock soon. Well, how is Layla? The dining room in the inn. Determined, I ask Hilda.San about the condition of Layla. Once Layla has healed, we don't have to worry about leaving Polka. Although the injury is almost gone, I'd like to rely on the bath for a bit more to take care, because it was a dragon slayer. Yes, I don't want to be on alert until the scars are completely gone. Hilda makes a difficult face. Well, it's a dragon's wound, it's a special dragon slayer's wound too. It will be the first time for Hilda.San to see on and it can't be helped but to be mindful of it. But, apart from me, who is the owner of Layla, it's weird to keep the core here any longer. If that's so, then only Layla and I will remain here and everyone else will be carried to Ba-Sun by Maya. When I said that, my back hair was pulled suddenly. Idiot. If you stay, I'm going to stay too, and Zeros was standing behind me with a slightly angry face. I know you have a responsibility for Layla. But, I'm your slave, understood, and Zeros says so while keeping her voice a little low and having a sulky face. A little cute though. That's not good. The crossbow 10. Man captains can be replaced if it feels like, but you can't be missed. The escort infantry is a small elite. And then Zeros' skill stands out. It would be difficult to make up for it if she gave up her job in the current situation. That is, Aurora can take my place. I am a member of the Intelligence Brigade custody. It is not a big deal to support, but there is no duty to take over your duties, and zeros. San, Aurora appeared. Where did you hear that from? You. But, I should rather stay with Andy. San, she can't say anything, indeed, and then zeros shuts her mouth. It is also true that Aurora is more likely to stay than N0s, who would throw away her job. I will stay by 10. Man captains and Layla. Nichan sighed. Me too. Jean and Maya seem to have heard the story from somewhere. Yeah, you guys are free. Or rather. If this happens, Selenium and Apple will say that they won't stick to the core alone, and if it is not good enough, only Diane will go to Ba Sun. I wonder if Diane. Chan will accept it too. It's a child who originally said that she would always quit the army for Andy. Kuan's sake. Needless to say, the crossbow corps is Diane's unit. Is the danger of the disappearance of the crossbow corps sober? No. I have a good idea, I hope they'll be there. Layla and Diane appeared and worried. Ho! You're not going to talk quite seriously while we're not there. Well, the two are laughing at each other. With Layla's hearing, they could hear everything from 1 or 2 rooms away, and Diane will understand everything from hearing only the flow of the story a little. I was also thinking of bringing back the core to Ba Sun. Above all, even if it is cheap, the rent will not be a little amount. That's right. The cost is coming from the military headquarters, but once it gets paid off, it will probably freeze. But, Layla still has wounds. Ho! Well, just a little. Layla shows her wound under the robe. Certainly, the color is thin and the width is small, but it certainly exists. As long as this is not just a wound, I want to cure it properly. I mean, to show the belly under the robe. I wonder what kind of dignified exposure of the lower body that does not wear pants she has, even though there are only relatives. Therefore, we will have Maya carry everyone to Ba Sun. And to Layla, we will go on the weekend to visit the miraculous spring to continue the treatment, going back and forth. It wouldn't be difficult if Maya were there. This minimizes the amount of time you have to take a vacation to do that, half a day from Ba Sun to Polka. If I take another vacation on weekend off duty, it is safe to return to the hot spring for a day. Indeed, then do you go with that plan? Yeah. It's a very nice place, too. We'll be spoiled too. When I went to the Baron with Diane about that matter, the Baron again looked sad. I thought it was very lively, but it can't be helped. I'm sorry, when we return so suddenly after we have made it to the private bar, it might be a good story of selfishness. However, the members of our corps are separated from the locals of Ba Sun, and nothing can be done with this situation. I will be indebted again. Diane says that strongly. The Baron smiled with an embarrassed face and shakes Diane's hand. I want you to enjoy at least the spring festival. Only sing and dance. As it is a festival, it will be lively and fun. Yes, Diane nodded. Polka's spring festival is divided into singing, dancing and playing an instrument. As a general rule, participants must join one of them. Of course, Andy. San will join the dance group, right? With a plop, the glance of Aurora, who says that while putting her hand on my shoulder hurts. I'm not proud of it, but I can't dance perfectly at all. Instead, I was good with small instruments, so when I was in polka I was in the playing an instrument group. I was able to play most of the melodies from just listening to it with my ears, and it was said whether I was a born musician. I just played the instrument, but I didn't have any composition skills, and even that was good at a 10-year-old level, so it didn't last at all. Boo-hoo-hoo. I dance for the first time in decades. Lead me, Andy. Kuan. Ho, it's my first time to dance. I have danced a bit with Phaser. Dwarves love to sing and dance, so I can do it. It's 50 years ago that I last danced. Do I go to the playing an instrument group? Ho, Diane, are you going to miss the opportunity to dance with Andy alone? I'm excited to dance with the person I love. Say, Selenium, let's go. That, I want to practice so much that I'm not ashamed. Everyone is talking on the premise of dancing with me. Or playing an instrument. It's no good. Not good. Aurora and Hilda were able to control the plane with a smile. These people, they know I don't want to dance, but I dare to put pressure on them. I have never danced, so I might shame you. To be honest, they nodded at the same time. In that case, it's fine if you take special training. The next few hours were hell. I forgot. Well, these people, surprisingly, were hot-blooded and full of fighting spirit. You're quite good at stringed instruments. I'm really good, but I can't figure out why I can play the guitar so well with the thickness of my fingers. Boyd Sylvia. San play an instrument. Hey, Smithson, explain it to them. Even if I'm good at singing, I don't trust them at all. Why not? Well. Johnny Keel struggles in front of Isaac. Unfortunately, Isaac is great at singing. Are you serious? Hey. What a shame. Bumo. I don't know how we feel when we lose to a guy who says Bumo in a song. Isaac. The Mikigami sisters sing together. And we belong to the dance group. In the morning, each group performs a set of arrangements and allocations, and the largest spring festival in polka's history begins. Cheerful music and songs. It is played by a very miscellaneous band consisting of humans, ogres, dwarves, elves and human beasts. And the ones who dance are the same again. Men and women of many races and many age groups dance while being surprised by the size and feel of each other's palm. There was a strangely moving warmth, though it was not a beautiful spectacle which fell at times and did not disturb one thread at all. In the midst of all this, I take turns dancing with everyone and they are confiding in their joy. It's fun. Andy. San is great, isn't he? This spring festival, maybe thanks to Andy. San. Selenium takes my hand happily from the bottom of her heart and turns round and round to show off her gorgeous costume. It's like paradise. So many races are all laughing and having fun. Apple leans close to me with tears in her eyes as if she was moved. It's like that. It's like you've been pretty messed up. Diane leads me with a smile. Wait, my feet are wandering. And Zeros, who dances in an unfamiliar dress, dance desperately while being hugged by me after all. Hoo. It's like a dream come true to meet the person of destiny while dancing like this in social circles. Aurora gracefully swings with the rhythm of the waltz while smiling with a big smile. 10. Man Captain. 10. Man Captain. While calling me again and again, Jean has fun and leans happily and tight on my chest. Moo. Don't look at my chest only. The dress Maya borrowed is a full open design of the chest and embraces me to hide the slightly overrepresented chest. Ho. It's a good feast. If you have alcohol, it's perfect. Layla, who does everything smoothly, takes steps according to me in the margin. When we stand up and hug each other like this, Andy. Cohen is pretty big, and Hilda pushes my chest mischievously. Splendid, you're in good shape. In the habit of a savage animal trainer. What are you doing? I wanted to go back, but the northern forest is too complicated. And I dance with the stupid Almeida. The song is over. It meant the parting for a while, with this polka. Hey, Irina. Dono. What is, Goodo. San? Do you think that the present we saw is a miracle? I don't understand the meaning of a miracle. Well, I think it was interesting. If everyone thinks that this site is fun, it isn't a miracle or a fake. We are politicians, we can do our best to keep the scene going. Do you agree? Chapter 84. Pervert Dwarf. First part. Jean, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 84. Pervert Dwarf. First part. Jean, the day after the spring festival, we started to withdraw from polka. Even a dragon of several tens of meters in length can't carry 100 people at a time. It's not too fast. Maya will transport everyone to Basan Core building with ample work volume, so it will take 4 days for the complete withdrawal to be completed. Then, I go ahead and wait. Isaac raised his hand nicely and got on the first flight. And, the Mikagami sisters, Sylvia and Boyd will also go. Isaac's first task is to be the representative of 100-man Commander Diane in Basan for the next few days. It seems that everyone agrees with Isaac's practical ability. And it's also because Boyd said, I will go to apologize to Sylvia's parents as soon as possible. Well, Sylvia.San's behavior, which has been chasing Boyd for weeks at the stage of not allowing marriage, is certainly full of love, but it's too much of a detour. Boyd must surely show his sincerity to death. Do your best. And while everyone decides which flight they will take, it goes without saying that Layla, I and Hilda.San have to wait until the final flight. Needless to say, it is better to continue Layla's spring treatment as long as possible. And Hilda and I will accompany her. When I made this kind of decision, of course, and Zeros and Aurora also hoped for the final flight, but still, they have a position by all means, so they can't be selfish. Diane, who also needs to remain in the final stages for greetings to barons and elves and final inspections, is supposed to send in Zeros, Selenium, Apple without a clear reason. Speaking of elves, Almeida was taken by Irina after the spring festival and quietly returned to the forest. She can go to the other side of the mountain range soon if she uses the teleportation field at the White Clan of the forest. If she aims for folklore from there, it doesn't take a day on foot. But Almeida didn't know how to deal with the teleportation field and went around several clans to come to Polka's spring festival to get to know the information. I was careless even if I was swayed. I misunderstood that elves didn't need explanations, it's too much for the rest of us. Almeida's back, which was being pulled by Irina, looked a bit small. She might have been hard lost than I thought. Even though it's just a break, there were a lot of surprises. Even this time, you really won't get into any more trouble, ho. You say trouble, but that strange elf warrior girl, what kind of opponent is she? That was what bothered me, too. What are you going to do, Andy. Cohen? Even 9 of us are going to have a lot of rotation, aren't we? Is she also a lover of yours? Wrong. Polka's miraculous spring. After deciding on the date of return, Layla stays here from morning till night. It is a temptation to speed up the recovery a little and reduce the number of visits to Polka from now on. And Hilda.San, who accompanied, sometimes come to see the situation. She doesn't hate hot springs, but she doesn't have the nerve to stay so long in a local hot spring. The Baron and the Spring Guards made a partition with care and made a space dedicated to Layla and us, but it was still tough to say that she was not willing. I'm going now. I'll come back to see you later. She ran away. Ho, it's fine. But well, I think it's more clear to say than to make it half-hearted, to be kind to Selenium and the others and the belly worms. I know, well, I think we should make it clear in the future, but I doubt that there is any contact with Almeida again. I don't care if I see her next time. The town of Polka is panicked somewhere as the members of the Leaving Crossbow Corps buy souvenirs and do the last exchange with the residents in the new bar which closes tomorrow. Although I have already decided to take part in the final flight, I will come to visit here again with Layla or Maya next week. Do I have Jackie.San tell me something about blacksmithing? No, a blacksmith in this country is busy in early spring when everyone starts to work again after the winter. It is not a good thing to disturb in vain. So what shall we do? Hot spring, I went in enough to lose my temper. Shall I talk to someone who seems to be free? Irina, who is considered to be the right-most wingman of a leisure person, is Almeida's guide. Now. I was troubled. Just because I'm alone in my spare time, if I'm going to go out for a while, I feel that something will get up and cause trouble for everyone. On experience. When I was sitting alone in the village square, I found Jean, who was drinking with her hands on her hips at Aunt Lindsay's fountain. That seems to be free. Hey, Ngu. Just before turning up the pot and drinking it. Jean tries to turn back to me who is approaching from a strange direction, so she twists her neck strangely and naturally something enters the trachea. And Jean was coughing. are you alright? I am a little worried. But when she thumped her chest and adjusted her breath, Jean smiled while half crying. Ehe, my fault, Andy. Why are you bullying that small child? Aunt Lindsay gets angry. Aunt Lindsay. She is no little kid, she is a dwarf. She is the same age as me. So what is that way of saying it? Oya, you're right. Young dwarf girls are seldom in polka. Aunt Lindsay laughs awkwardly. Jean smiles and makes a thumbs up sign. I can get married and have children. Jean holds her waist with one hand. And Andy. The other day, didn't you come with a girl called N0s? Ah, yes, how many crotches are there? Know that, nah. Ah, Aunt Lindsay's expression looks like a wolf aiming for prey. How? This kind of fuel is too dangerous for a rural ant. And, in response to that, Jean has put her arms together and answered heavily. In the last 6 months alone, I'm sure it went beyond 10, Aunt Lindsay, suddenly an eager face. Jean.Chan. Aunt doesn't feel confident in looking at people, but I think young children like you should take care of themselves. In Celesta, it's not illegal to have many people as lovers, so why? That's not the case. It's sad to just wait for someone else to scratch a woman. It's fine. Jean puffed up her chest with pride. I don't want to be anywhere else than by 10. Man Captain's side, I want to keep it in my own hands. Hey, Aunt Lindsay. What's that, boy who grew up to be the lowest man who really can't save you face? I can't lie to my face. What are you doing here? A wooden spoon is thrown and hit my temple. Yup. Even if I wasn't told, I thought I was pretty useless. However, I would like to request a warm stance that I would like to ask for excuses for a little more. Is it useless? It's all right. I'm not complaining about 10. Man Captain. Ah, this child seems to be a mess already. Andy, if you make this child unhappy, you'll be cursed and killed by your dead father. Why do you mention my father? It's not natural that blacksmiths respect dwarves. That's right. Many dwarves are working in the workshops of the capital city, and it would be true as my father had trained in 3 workshops. But I am not convinced for a moment. Ah, it's fine to give 5 gold coins today to Aunt. Is that right? Wait for a minute, I will count it, even though it is a gold coin for a drink. How much did you drink, Jean? Nyahaha. I've been drinking a lot of lemon water. Dwarves are great drinkers, aren't they? Jean and Aunt Lindsay laughed together. They stopped midway. So when I told Jean that I had free time, Jean clapped her hands together. Then let's do it. Hey, is it not good? It's not good right now, let's wait until tonight. The time is still daytime. Sex as the first choice. What is it like? I thought. I wasn't having a close relationship with 10. Man Captain recently, so I want to do it well when you have time. Mew, certainly. It is also a fact that I haven't had sex with Jean properly. Jean, who has a sturdy body that endures various plays and is a perverted masochist, is dominated mainly by hard sex because of Layla and Hilda instead of normal sex. There is also a good part. The challengeable spirit that has no problem if left to others during a sex play, but that doesn't mean that Jean personally feels inferior to the others. Rather, it is a very exciting fact that her little body always welcomes all of my sexual desires. 10. Man Captain. Even though I'm troubled, I imagined how I grabbed Jean's small butt and pushed my penis into her vagina, so that my son swells up inside my trousers. And because Jean has physical disparities, so it doesn't mean that I will see a little girl up close in front of me. Ehe. What is it? You don't need to hold back. Jean laughed at me. I am the most convenient portable cockhole. I'm more dedicated to the 10. Man Captain than Maya or N0s, Jean. Don't say that on the main street, hee. But, anytime, anywhere, whenever you like 10. Man Captain, this place, you can use it. Jean presses her lower abdomen against me. I imagined that I entered that place and the expression which lit fire strangely seemed to be unpleasant. Go, good. I'm going to use it, your pussy, it's different, 10-man captain, Jean whispered, hanging around my neck. Shall I open my crotch or take out my ass? You perverted little girl, Nyahaha. I was easily caught up in Jean's provocation and I was in a state where I can't wait any longer. Instead of waiting until the night, we could go back to the inn. But, I decided to ravish Jean suddenly in the back alley of that area. Nya, 10-man captain, it's already not good. It's because of some lewd little girl, that is, a big deal. The culotte that Jean was wearing is lowered, thrown away and her panty is pulled violently and torn off. Ah! Sure enough, Jean had a captivating face. She is deprived of her escape way and isn't allowed to hide her embarrassment. Even though being forced into such a situation, her face only has hope for violent mating rather than fear. What a joy! You're going to spend the whole day wearing that culotte and my semen dripping down, right? Hee hee, I'm happy, to look good in it. I firmly grasp the thin, soft thighs and buttocks that don't seem to produce that tremendous power. The indecent hole in the center is opened with a finger as I have declared that I will use it any time and anywhere. Oh, it is small as usual. It seems like a joke that this hole spreads and swallows my dick. However, Jean's pussy was releasing thick love liquid to dream of a heavy load that would come in a few minutes or a few seconds. You're really happy, hee hee, quickly, put it in quickly. With 10-man captain's fat dick, you're going to bully my uterus as much as you want even if you don't say it, it's not like. I am in a back alley in Polka. I pierce my son into Jean's sexy vagina. Zuzuzu, I proceed through Jean's little vagina. It feels like the mucous membrane and skin are tight to the limit. This cute dwarf girl's little genital aggression is exhausting like a crude human genital and just inserting involves a sense of accomplishment. And Egu, you, 10-man captain. On Jean's face, she has a fusion of youngness and unpleasantness that cannot be found by humans. Ah! Jean is attractive. Even if she doesn't have tits or sex skill, this girl is, a woman who is too attractive for me. Quickly, poke me, and then, come a lot. I want you to stuff my body like a toy, I want to be full of sperm. Well, it's a good thing. I lifted that light body and started shaking my hips with top gear from the beginning. Nyaya. Ho. At any rate, Jean can't remain in this place, Layla.Chan. I'm worried about her body flying long distances right now, that's right, well, dwarves aren't as good as ogres, but I think it's okay because they are difficult to abort, ho. Did you notice? Well. Don't underestimate Hilda.Sensei, or rather, Layla.Chan, how do you know? I can smell it. Well, maybe it can be said that it is vitality. It is an interesting story that she is the first, I'm a little frustrated. Chapter 85. Abnormal Dwarf Second Part, Jean, you are listening at novelfull.audio. The long 1.1 battle with Jean burned more of my energy than expected. We also had open.air sex in the back alley and there is also a feeling of excitement as I stand up to Jean's indignation. However, her movement of the waist and tongue and expression are indeed lewd, I feel the greed that she seems to devote the pleasure of sex given by me. It was self-evident that it would be trivial to take over the initiative immediately for her, even if I was attacking her with those limbs that had much power over me and even the aggressive sexual desire she controls everything. 10-man captain, more, stronger, yes, good. With her arms around my neck, her knees on the inside of my elbows, Jean sways her hips rhythmically, clinging to my body like a piece of playground equipment. Her young, narrow vagina moves so violently to get certainly pregnant that the womb mouth clings to my penis and deprives me of room to move. I wonder if I can do it harder than this. 10-man captain, long, hopes, no matter what, you can hit me with more force. Jean changes her waist movement little by little and the pleasure becomes intense. Sex that competes with power without a skill was like Jean's character itself. I'm made to reciprocate at Jean's pace in a narrow road. Combined with the cervix that gives the glands a crisp stimulation, the tiny vagina squeezed more strongly by the moment of pull that makes the hips bounce, giving pleasure of non-defense to me. The moment of push is active, I'm reaching my limit. Conversely, the movement to pull out is a stimulation to the weak honey pot, which is hard to defend against. Jean, forgive me, that's too much. Hee hee. I focused on Jean. The small round trip, which used gravity and strong feet, had easily exceeded the stimulation that was accepted with plenty of time mentally. Wait, danger, wait, please, Jean, why. Jean doesn't wait for a moment. She tasted the pleasure of becoming uncontrollable to me, while I taste the ejaculation impulses and relax while stimulating the glands which is rubbing against the cervix greatly. Momentarily, I start ejaculation in the state of raising the white flag. Kuha. N, gu, q. Ahaha, 10. Man captains, sperm. Yo, you coward, I told you to wait, I talk in the interval of rough breathing while pouring semen into her vagina. As Jean rubs her cheeks on my chest, she exhales, happily, every time she takes a shot. Jean might be fine with that. Jean has no particular ill appearance, and it is extremely unacceptable that the form is almost unilaterally squeezed. I'm not convinced at the moment, so let's do it again, hee hee. Jean smiles and strengthens the strength of the arm that hangs around my neck tightly. I wonder if she was aiming for that from the beginning. A field just a short distance from the city. It is sunny and the place where the ground came out first and young grass make a green carpet. I pushed down Jean onto the soft, green-smelling bed and this time it is the second round in normal position. Eehee, it's so romantic to make love in a flower field. Your romance is good enough, I don't think that's the case. However, it's great if you're the one who's hugged me and have sex with me, I think it's a very erotic situation, but usually, I don't say it is romantic. The culotte that was once worn by Jean is pulled down again and her cute but firm lower body is exposed again. Polka spring is still chilly. I am searching for the lower body of the young dwarf girl whose chest is throbbing while being buried in yellow and white spring flowers. The gap between the freshness of the scene, the cuteness, and the inferior act of the opposite stimulates the back of the waist again. I'll do it, Jean, but, 10. Man captain, with a slight hump, Jean slowly lifts her feet and says, I want you to order more violently. Present me your lewd hole, your meat hole slave. Jean seems very happy. From the beginning, I don't care about it, use my pussy as a tool, as I'm 10. Man captain slave. Absolutely, NDA. Jean seems strangely euphoric to be treated like a tool as I will insert into her lower body. Well, let's see. It's a hobby. After all, take everything off, Naya. I also take off everything, it doesn't seem to have been transmitted to her yet. As for me, you're not broken enough to walk around and just put my dick inside your hole. Remember, if you're going to be with me forever. Sex with me is sticky and lovey-dovey. Occasionally it's hard and terrible. You're not mistaken like Phaser. I want to fuck you because I like you. You. Isn't it a contradiction when you are alone? It's okay, I told you it was fine earlier. I'm not getting bored and throw away one after another after I had sex with 9 people. Well, I want to monopolize you all because I like everyone. Hey, however, there, Hilda.Sensei. Therefore you're more beloved. Author. We will ignore the serious matter. Thank you for your understanding. Nya, 10. Man captain, NN, I'm fine using you as a tool and ejaculate like a portable toilet, but I don't want to throw you away, but don't forget that I love you and want to make love. really I would like to spend time with you all over the next few decades, I, 10. Man Captain, throughout, Yunya, I'm going to die of embarrassment, it's okay, let's have sex with love. Let's do something that can't be heard by others. Jean, let's hold each other more firmly and have head-numbing sex, 10. Man Captain, the 10 Chief is doing so. It opens a strange door by surprise attack. We both become completely naked, entangle our limbs without gaps on the young grass and connect our genitals, swaying like a cradle, tangling our tongues and releasing sweet voices. Contrary to a little while ago which was violent at random, we have fulfilling sex with all one's power. Jean, I feel good, 10. Man Captain, I don't have a very sweet voice. I feel like I'm getting strange, you're horny, it's even more so now. You can feel as odd as you like, Jayuni, Hamu, NN, at the very back, Jean gently swirls around my cock to knead the remaining semen. Hugging each other, we keep our weight tight and alternate who is moving many times to enjoy and feel the primitive feeling. As we remembered sometimes, we relax our lower backs and give pleasure to each other. Like the grooming of beasts, we express our love for one another with hands and lips as we interact with each other, and I teach and remind Jean that sex is an expression of love. Layla and N0's RM, but I am not worried because there is a sense of craving for love at the bottom of their hearts. However, Jean is likely to shift to the perfect pervert pleasure side sometimes, probably because she is too pure because of Layla's training. Let's teach her properly, that I love her. No, if everyone is here, I can't have sex so long. Today it's your turn. It's okay to do it until sunset, really. All the while, completely naked, only the two of us until nightfall, you're serious. You won't be able to return to elder sister Layla or the inn until night. Danger, it's about time, Jean, put it out. Just like waiting for a shooting star, we hug together and I ejaculate in a calm mood. Jean receives it while being hugged and gently climaxes with no escape. Jean, I love you, 10. Man Captain is mean. Being confessed while you ejaculated like this, even if you don't feel like it, it's decided that I give birth to your child. I think it's a special emotion. But if you didn't feel like it, did you think you could give birth all the time? I want to give birth to any number. You mean, you will give birth to many people? We also began to wait patiently for the next ejaculation, rolling around, kissing and patting each other's asses. By dusk, I came 5 times as it was night. Maya, who came back after finishing her first flight, bathed with Layla. I'm a little tired, but if I enter here it's okay to fly every day, just like a little bit of real age, 62 years old, she put her hands on her neck and shoulders and turned her neck to soak in the hot water. Of course, not only those two but also me and Hilda have entered and all my lover's slave girls are remaining, so a total of 10 people are sitting together and taking a bath in the special partition for Layla. Indeed, when the best female bodies are lined up, even though I'm used to seeing them, I get an erection. I poured a lot into Jean, but is it still a gift of the training that I'm still fine? Isn't it only my dick original? By the way, Jean, there's something I want to say to you, Naya. What is it? Layla faces Jean with a strange face. Jean was happily patting her stomach after the last ejaculation at nightfall, but she thought she would be scolded now, so she looked more scared than necessary. And the words that Layla spoke had an additional impact on her face. Aren't you planning to stay here for a while? Nah, why would you say something like that? Jean stands up and protests. Layla and Hilda try to stop her. But Jean grabs the collar tightly and has tears in her eyes. I've been with 10. Man Captain today, so I just don't care so much. That's how much everyone is doing once in a while. Owner Andy. Layla and Hilda see me with a longing face. It seems like there is only a strange consensus between those two. Well, calm down and listen, Jean-chan, I'm not angry that you've been mating with my owner, then why? Hilda and Layla show wry smiles at Jean, who screams. Selenium thinks so much, and Apple screams, ah, next to her. Ah, Apple. What is it? I think it's okay for those two to notice. I was only somehow worried and divided up. What are you talking about? Layla stands up and slowly holds Jean's shoulders. Jean, owner, I don't want to damage the first child, It's so cold in the sky that the air pressure is swaying. Jean-chan, it's better to calm down and give birth here. Because a miraculous spring is here, there are no worries about birthing in rare circumstances, Jean has her mouth wide open. Perhaps she has a face like a koi carp. It was N0s and Aurora who got up and shouted. Both have cute butts. To escape reality. Diane and Selenium looked at each other, while Apple laughed bitterly as usual. Maya is agreeing with, by birth. Jean finally starts to move. And following her, I also face reality. My child, right? Ho. You've been together since you ate Jean's virginity properly. No, I'm not suspicious of an affair, my child. Is it because of the heat of the hot springs? Maybe it's because the other party is a special mother figure and far from Jean. It's strangely fluffy and unrealistic. But my kid. My mother's grandchild. My father's grandchild. A child between Jean and me. That's how I'm rephrasing the facts in my mind, and I get a real feeling of reality. 10. Man Captain, I wonder if Jean can't get there yet, as she looks anxiously at me. I pulled Jean's hand and pulled her into my arm and screamed. We did it. Nya. Andy, don't be wild. You will not be delighted if it becomes an abort. Both Layla and Hilda get angry at me. Yup. Sorry. Be careful. But. Really. I really made a kid. Chapter 86. Conceive, Half-elf, and Zero's Aurora, you are listening at novelfull.audio. It was announced that Jean wouldn't go to Basun at the morning's meeting the next day. Instantly great booing. Mainly the dwarves and some serious perverts. Why don't you come, Jean-chan? Again. Again that guy, 10. Man Captain Smithson. What did you do this time? It might be better to do something about 10. Man Captain Smithson, I will be together with 10. Man Captain and Zeros when you guys are crazy about Jean-chan, what are you saying? I will hit you with all my might if you guys continue. With one hand raised, Diane controls the members who make noise and explains. She is pregnant. Everyone suddenly started fishing for their belongings. They assemble the crossbows with their movement aligned as if it is a stage play or something. What are you doing? It's decided, isn't it, 10. Man Captain Smithson, it's morning training. They're serious. Stop. Jean makes a desperate cry to stop them, and Zeros and Aurora try to calm everyone down in a hurry. I think Diane is watching silently. Confidence that I probably won't be killed. The trust itself is correct, but I don't think it would be nice to gamble on my life. Help me, Isa, AAA. Isaac, who I tried to ask for help, was already in Basun. Good, everyone's training starts. If Smithson runs 50 steps, you can shoot him. IEAA. The fools raise their crossbows at the command of Williams and raise their voices in agreement. I can't do anything, so I have no choice but to run the shortest distance to the northern. Ho! I'm not getting tired of this. I will bite you if you hit. As I listen to Layla and Maya's voices behind me, my great escape to the forest elf territory, which is a safe zone, has begun. On the way, Andy was caught in an encirclement in the end and kneeled on the ground to beg for forgiveness. Well, none other than Jean is a bath companion. After all, Layla seems to have decided to stay here with Jean and continue to recuperate. No matter if she would remain alone, she would say that if she was with Jean, she would not be lonely even if she was somewhat apart from me. In fact, in order not to miss Jean, I guess that's what it means. That area was Layla's motherhood. It is said that the Baron will be happy to take care of the housing for those two. Well then, you're going to come and see me personally once in a while, right? I come every week properly, I laugh while being head-locked by Layla. But Jean's face was looking down. In the inn room, I decide to talk to Jean alone. I wonder if I can give birth to your child. You said you could give birth, but, after all, giving birth is a risk of one's life. As I thought, Jean felt stressed on the fact of her pregnancy. No wonder. It is difficult to say that Jean is physically mature yet, and even if she is not giving birth, her life is more important. Even in Polka, there is no case that a pregnant woman dies due to labor difficulties. But it's all right. Jean is strong and Hilda.San is on our side. Hilda is a female doctor and she often used to lend a hand as a midwife in Talc. It seems she has some magic to help with that. But I can't say that. I'm not afraid, that is, okay. I'm scared too. It's creeping that I may lose Jean. Or rather, I'm horrified now. Just imagining the sight of Jean, who has become a corpse after giving birth, is terrifying. But Jean saw such a figure of me. So, I'm scared to be 10-man captain's girl. This child is 10-man captain's child. It's just a matter of me being small, isn't it? I can't even say I'm weak. No, it feels like it's a bit of a misunderstanding and it feels like she is pressured, but Jean's face returns to normal. Is my mother a strong person? Well, I think it's better than you thought. You seem to be out of mind. And Zeros and Aurora open the door and show their faces. The hand is a small souvenir, or is it intended as a souvenir? Polka is still a little early for the fruit season. What they have is a fruit of the elf territory, which is starting to be exported to Polka by Irina's intermediary, and it must be a little expensive with the root. Both of you, if it is true, it may be safe to say that they don't care. My selfish harem condition, which may break the balance, by the child incident. Even so, I was happy to see their complexions and that they worry about Jean very well, as I understood that it was a very straight heart root. What? It's Andy.San's child, right? It's natural to worry, they love to hide their embarrassment. Hee. If it's about the two of you, I thought you'd just jump towards 10-man captain to have a baby right away. Of course, there is also a purpose. That's right. Yeah, they can't say that they worry about Jean, honestly, as they can't beat their jealousy mouth. In the end, they carry on the words of Jean and pretend themselves as impure. It is clumsy and cute. Even if you're on the flight today, right? You don't have time to do erotic things. It's all right, there's still about 30 minutes, Andy.San, if you hurry up now, you can pour your semen into us about once, right? Both girls who take off their skirts, expose their undergarments and stick their butts out towards me. Good grief, they miss you. Jean makes a wry smile. Jean, I'm going to do something weird right in front of you, yeah. I will do my best after those two. Jean smiled. It's her way of returning kindness to the gentle elf girls who are a little twisted. Now. And Zeros, yes, she put her hands against the wall and pushed her buttocks still wearing underwear out. I grab her thin waist and pat her small and cute butt. Then I slap it a few times, 3. And Zeros closes her eyes. Aurora is a little startled. This pervert. Perverted masochist. Cock-addicted nasty woman, Andy. From now on I will charge semen into you and it is impossible to return as I slowly fertilize your belly. What if the people from your squad find out? 2. Really, what am I supposed to do? And Zeros is the type who is pleased when she is blamed mentally. The sudden spanking and vulgar abuse are one of the pleasures with immediate effect on N0s. I kiss her and rub her boobs, before I pierce in her pussy, as we don't have enough time. Therefore, it is easy to change the switch by N0s because of this. Anyway, you wanted to get pregnant since yesterday, right? I wondered if you were going to get fucked so much that you could faint and get pregnant by sex like a purposeful dog. That kind of thing, hiya. I hit her but strongly. Enough to let a hand print remain on her butt. It is understood that the healthy, slightly thin buttocks meat of N0s is wavy and it is shaken immediately after. I thought a little, and Zeros tries to be honest with a few tears in her eyes. Good, I will ejaculate in your womb only once. Do you care? Yes, I'll take care of it. With a bit of tear and a hopeful, euphoric look, and Zeros pushes out her hips with a strong heart. The impact of moving her hips loosens the knot of her hair and the long, slack hair gets on her cheeks smoothly and produces a color-like expression without being said. Ah. Cute. I wonder why I've been staying next to her without attacking for years. I'm going. I take down my pants and take out my penis. It is necessary to lower the underwear which hangs on N0's but which remains bright red. I intrude into the hairless female hole which has opened its naughty mouth. You, how is it? Hoo. Andy's taste. From the middle of the rush, N0's pushed out her buttocks so that I could almost take care of her and to the depth at a dash. When this happens, the high-armed swordsman is just a lonesome, horny, dedicated sex slave. Andy, poking, we don't have time, I want you to come in the back of my stomach. It's too much, greedy pet, I abuse N0's whose switch has completely turned on with nasty words. How? She will be completely dyed by me, the mask of the innocent that she normally wears is peeled off completely and N0's pushed out her ass on her own heartily and unleash her movement rhythmically. From now on it will become narrow as N0's begs for my seed and squeeze very tightly. My dick is entangled by the small vagina and we make a vulgar noise, while I suck on the body of my pretty cute colleague. I won't hesitate. I want to put a mark on her that everyone knows that she is only mine. Andy, just a little, wait a minute. Why? N0's shakes her hips but asks for speed down from me. It was okay to ignore it and take her to ejaculation, but when I loosened my pace a little, N0's joined me, no, she reached for my balls. She cast something small. And, something strange warmth was transmitted and disappeared. N0's. Hoo, good, already, look, to me, full, thrust, ejaculation, okay. Clinging to the wall with one hand, N0's shakes her hips in a rush. For the time being, I gradually strengthen the movement. And ejaculate. How? You. To match the convulsions, the semen is injected, no, it is not such easy. To life. The feeling that she is doing a piss vigorously while convulsions attacks. This is. N0's, you. An, waist, don't pull, more pressing. Bayatsu, my semen that is violently shot out is received in the back of the womb and N0's was enchanted by the slightly swollen belly with a lovely expression. This, is sperm hell. Yeah, I asked Hilda.San to tell me, and I got it. She is a crazy fellow. That magic, it's a deformed spell and quite advanced, Aurora next to us is also making a statement. I can do it if I try. My ejaculation is finished and N0's stops the back flowing from between the vagina meat and further squeeze my penis to gain the remaining love juice. Don't you think pregnancy or childbirth is scary? Suddenly, I asked N0's the fear I felt earlier. Being conceived, with your child. I want to give birth to it. A simple and clear answer was whispered with a joyful face. Jean laughed bitterly. N0's is a pervert. It's a little complicated when you say that. It was N0's which patted the womb filled with the semen while doing a delicate face. When I pull my son out of N0's vagina, as it is natural, a large amount of sperm and honey comes out. It's a waste. You're the only one who's going to get it all at once. If it's about 2 people, maybe we could do something about it. It's too much either way. I gently wipe N0's crotch which is full of semen with a towel and raise her underwear. N0's lightly dyed her cheeks to my actions and wraps her butt which still has a red handprint on it with her skirt. And well, that's why you're going to have to do a lot more than you think, so be prepared. Yeah. I cling to Aurora who stuck out her buttocks from the beginning just in the same posture as N0's. Although Aurora is already wet from seeing the fierce act next to her, it is not enough. However, I dare to push my son inside her which is covered with mine and N0's dirty liquid and I thrust inside from the side of the underwear of Aurora. After all, it is tight. And I feel that the vagina has a very crisp feel, though the relief is small. I know that it is Aurora's vagina. Aurora is younger than Jean, Maya, and N0's. Even if she is the youngest and a princess, I'm not particularly used to it. After all, being embraced by Andy.san in this way, it's so attractive. I'm the happiest when storing things. She must have become the queen of a social circle which exactly represented Celesta if she did not become obsessed with me and shows such an indecent expression naturally at random. Such a girl wants my child. To give birth to a half-elf, she sticks out her secret place without hesitation and devotes all of her as a woman to me. Intoxicated by that sense of conquest, a sense of accomplishment erupts inside me. Andy.san. I feel good inside you, you should ejaculate immediately. I'm your semen jar, your semen toilet. Don't you want to feel good? If you spit your semen inside me, I'm confident that I'll be able to ejaculate right after you put it in. It's related to my point of honor, but please don't be too modest, okay? I'm a little hesitant to show this kind of figure to the members of the squad. That's right, surely Aurora is also a woman who feels that it seems to be good to do it when I command and she would say, I don't mind to touch my hips in front of everyone. Even if I say that Layla already had sex with me in front of the other members, so she will do it. But I don't want to brag about my sex with Aurora. I don't mean to be badly hit by everyone again. Then, I wonder if you're reckless, but I'm going to make you a semen belly. I'm already wet with N0's juice and start the extraction process so that it is spread. Standing back in a row is a bit tough on the lower back, but I can't let the woman who wants my kind to break away. Therefore the uterus is pushed up and while enjoying the buttocks, I gradually improve the pleasure. I know I haven't been able to raise Aurora. Even so, to the vagina of the indecent princess who wants me to ejaculate to make herself pregnant in time. I am. Dobiyutsu, Baiutsu. I inject my ejaculation like urination. Aurora has a joyful face, as she put out her tongue and received the ejaculation while dripping her eyebrows. There is nothing out of it, just a face that is just drunk on pleasure, but for some reason, her appearance is very beautiful. I want to have a child as soon as possible. This womb, I want to be a mother. The belly which was swelled up from the mass ejaculation has been complemented by the smile and tears on Aurora's face. Aurora's underwear is also casually returned. I didn't wipe out the juice that I had blown inside like by N0's, so her panties suddenly got bigger and it was great. I regret my own mistake in a moment. But. You did that to let me go to Ba-sun like this, right? Aurora interprets so without permission and raises her skirt while love liquid overflows from her crotch. This spirit of making matches and looking forward to anything is the strongest in a sense. Then, in a few days, I am waiting for you. 2 people go out while caring about their crotches. Oh, both of these skirts are full. It's kind of my worst. Hoo, I think you'll be able to make a lot of belly companions soon if it's 10. Man Captain, yup. No, more than that. Jean. It's about time you stop calling me 10. Man Captain, there's no bride who calls her husband in his position, right? I patted Jean's head. But how am I calling you? That's right, that said, there are no such many candidates. Andy is fine, is it okay to call you without honorifics? Originally we are the same age. Moreover, I can see that her cheeks have become red. It's still a little early, to call me Dad. I will be called Father by the mother of my child. It makes me feel strangely happy when I think of Jean and everyone calling me that. Then, Andy, good, that's it for now. Chapter 87. The Bath Situation of the Crossbow Corps, Maya Diane, you are listening at novelfull.audio. After a few days, I went back to Bosun from Polka. Hey Smithson, won't an ogre remain? It's not over. Everyone cleans the ceiling for hard work, it's really serious. Higgins and Bronson rooms on the 3rd floor are leaking, idiot, if you let the ogres do it, they will step through the roof. Not good Curran, tisk, after a long time, the core building had to be cleaned up. It was empty for 2 months now, so the building is damaged, although it didn't snow and the climate was mild. A house is the first thing people use when it comes to showing signs of humanity. 10. Man Captain Curran. If it's the roof, shall I do it? Oh, Mikagami, are you good at highs? If it's about the 3rd floor, it's okay if it goes down, ho-he. Incredible Wolfman, like Mikagami, who has high physical ability, Selenium and Maya are also very active. Selenium is also admirably good at work in high places and carpentry. Should it be said that it is a self-employed thing in Polka for more than a dozen years, Maya has a power that is unmatched to her appearance and it is relatively helpful if she becomes a dragon for a while. It was a very reliable reinforcement. Don't cut corners, it's because you're the one who's going to cry because the care is so sweet. Wheeze, should I just go and buy it? Ask Williams and Isaac. I don't think they are out of missing tools, roger that. But I miss the hot spring of Polka, when we are working together in a sweaty way, everyone suddenly misses Polka's hot springs which we could enter whenever we wanted. If you don't boil it overtime here, you won't be able to get in, as the wind is still chilly. Bathing in the river is out of the question. I wonder why the girls don't take a bath. 10. Man Captain Smithson is muttering erotic things immediately, it's different. There is no bath in the women's core building which has just been built because of the number of girls which was few increases suddenly. I mean, I think it's a facility that should be built first of all if it's true, but they use the place of the men day by day. The kettle that boils the bath seems to be a difficult thing. Even if we ask the specialty trader in the town, it seems to take considerable time before it is possible to prepare it. But what do the girls say? Is that all right? Is it okay? What do they mean? Ogres and dwarves whose faces look strange. Well, they don't like baths in the colony. A human or a female elf is sensitive to stinky or dirty things. If possible, they want to bathe every day, ho. That's troublesome, but with us, they can only enter a couple of days, right? Yeah, but there's no girl who feels filthy. Even though we work together, I sense a secret. Everyone twists their heads while oiling the window frame and wiping the furnishings. It's a secret. Selenium winked from outside the window and I was surprised. Currently on the 3rd floor. Nevertheless, I was interested, so I decided to try a direct hit interview. So, what are you doing, Maya? As you say, Diane, what, is it a military secret? Give me a hint, hint. I really want to know. Maya avoids my eyes. Maya would teach me if I had to give her a command, but it will be a bit scary to think that I will be seen by Diane and others with eyes below freezing. This is where a moderate push is required. I just need a little bit. I can imagine the rest. Maya starts to worry. I lean over. My face was a bit close and Maya turned a little red. When? What are you doing? It was found out by Diane at once. Ah, no, when I try to make an excuse, Diane sighed. Apparently, it seemed she has called out to me after she had heard the story neatly. There's nothing I can say to you, eh? We're bathing somewhere else. At night, everyone would take a ride on Maya. What is? I thought it would be like that, though. But why are they keeping it a secret? If we open the story, someone will definitely come to peep. Regular soldier Mikagami is there too, but it seems that I was firmly in the calculation that I was a peeping devil. Sadly, I can't argue against it. It's enough for us to let you see us naked, but if you reach your hand out to Isaac's fiancée, I can't defend you for a moment, no matter what the other guys do. I'm sorry. In Polka, I organized a female body observation team relatively frequently and I also got to see the naked Mikagami in the hot springs several times. I didn't invite Isaac or Boyd because ogres are not good with being stealthy physically. AAA. No, the vicinity apart from that. Anyway, it's good that the mystery has been solved, so it is good then. Andy.Sama, wait, when I tried to run away, Maya grabbed on the hem of my clothes. Frustration. Are you okay? Maya looks up at me worriedly. Where do you learn those words? Andy.Sama, I'm much older than Andy.Sama, it was so. And, Diane nods seriously when she hears it. I see. There's a point in frustration, eh? Andy.Sama, I haven't had sex since I came here, so that's what bothers me. Yeah, I can't overlook this. We have to do something to protect Mikagami's chastity. You two are a little bit pushy about that reason. Alright, suddenly Maya makes a thumb up. We're going to endure longer, is that what you really mean? If I think carefully I wonder if I would have jumped into a tiger hole without knowing. Basically, men are forbidden in the woman core building. Only my slaves, my lovers, and Mikagami are inside. Because of that Mikagami, it is a batch for the great cause. Well, that's what. Don't try to vent your sexual desire around like that. Do I do it anytime, anywhere? They slowly began to unravel the belt. No, I'm not doing something to Mikagami, I'm just purely interested. Understood. That's what I'm going to do. Now, if you're properly diverted by us, it will be the truth. Sadly, I'm not trusted. Although I'm frustrated after all. If it's like this, you can always come to my room. My dick, which was dragged out by Maya, is facing the heavens with the expectation of tasting a body after a few days. It's also true that I've been busy for the past few days. I gave up my excuses because I was caught between Maya's small tits and Diane's swaying melons. A-A-N-U-U-U-Y-A-U-U-U. I buried my face in Maya's butt, which is raised on the bed. I lick up her faintly pubic hair-covered labia. It is thin and unreliable. Can it accept a man? Maya's white waist seems to be somewhat suspicious. It is odious that her hips sway as if she wants my caress. And Diane's body is attached to my lower body from behind, and while squeezing my son gently with her hands, she sometimes carefully presses a kiss on its head. Choo, what a great deal. How much did you tolerate? Ngugu. Don't say tolerate, I'm busy. Even before going to bed, selenium, and zeros, or my sister, you ought to have told somebody. Of course, even to me, you're free to say what you want lately, Diane. I think it's much better than being distracted by women who are not concerned with your frustration. Do I look like such an aggressive sex offender? Somehow it has become a bit sad. Although I feel good. I should be the first one who gets pregnant. Traditionally, a dwarf or a half-elf thought it was the first. I'm sorry I didn't even hear you. But I've been carrying all the luggage lately. My professional occupation is Andy.Sama's cock hole, so you can always fuck me. Is that so? There are so many tough women, therefore is it safe to release sexual desire in 4 hours? Don't be patient till the end, Nchu. Both of them urge me to do lewd things with them. If I say it, I have no time to be patient. Not to mention these two, and zeros, Selenium and Apple are getting used to sex more and not only to receive each but also start to get the technique to attack me. Even if I put my innocence side by side, for the time being, it is reasonable that it is not the case when I look at other women. I decided to monopolize everyone. I must not be satisfied with the fact that I have monopolized them for a while. I understand. I will not be patient. I put a kiss mark on Maya's ass like a baby and raise my waist like dragging Diane's body. You too will become pregnant. Me, too. Yes, you too. I grab Maya's thin waist, who is on all fours. Diane is firmly attached to my back, pressing her chest and waist against me. And while she licks my ear, she put her hand on my penis and helped me soberly insert it into Maya's pussy. And I thrust forward. NNN. Maya resists the intrusion by turning her spine. That's why I felt a little bit more room, so I made my thumb move into Maya's asshole. The room disappears from Maya's appearance. My thumb is tightened tightly. Hey, isn't it pretty bad? Diane whispers into my ear. As it is, she kept sticking to my entire back. Rig, HT. If I pull the butt as it is, my waist and her buttock will not stick to each other because her butthole holds my finger. I'm worried about that, so I pull out my thumb and change the finger I push into her ass. I change it to the middle finger. Higu, Jai. Because the movement was casual, Maya is in agony again. Even though Maya was treated so violently, I felt that she was finding an extraordinary euphoria by that and was strongly requesting it from me. Maya, shall I move? Move. While being stabbed with 2 fingers, Maya looks at me with joy. I nodded unconsciously and began to thrust my hips against her ass. AAA, how, AAA, nah. Maya increases her voice as my waist speed increases. And Diane gives an impression by moving her waist accordingly to my waist movement. When a man has sex with a woman, is it like this? Feeling good, different, I think, but, yeah, I still prefer to be fucked by you while looking up at your face. I'll do it with you soon. I joined my breath with Diane, who says those nasty words, and we swung our hips to reciprocate the feeling as if Diane is inside Maya. I insert deeply into the small vagina, which is very tight, and strikes the cervix continuously with my thrusting. At the same time, when I moved my middle finger in an asynchronous motion, Maya raised a cry. Ha, a. And I ejaculate. Maya's belly swells for a moment. Amazing, what, this much, did someone cast sperm hell magic before? At polka, and zeros, while tasting the pleasure of ejaculation that pulls out the contents of the belly, I grab Maya's waist like a toy, shakes it and spies out the remaining juice. Maya tries to swallow the semen by pushing her waist persistently, though Maya is unconscious from the ejaculation while foreign things are placed into both holes. When I pulled out my son, it blew out as a matter of course. To the tragedy of this battlefield, Diane swallows her spit and whispers into my ear. Me too, right away, is it okay? Of course, I lay Maya down on the side. Maya is a girl who finds pleasure in being treated as such a fuckhole like Jean. And I overthrew Diane next and invade her vagina that had already opened its mouth. Nkyu. It will be the first time in 10 days with Diane. In the presence of a little blank, Diane's entangled her legs around my waist, stretches her hands out, stretches out her tongue and welcomes me with her whole body, as I swing my hips suddenly. AAA, Andy, love, I love you, love me more, ejaculate more, you can come, I want to receive your semen, so you can fuck me anytime, anywhere, whenever you want, like Jean. It's hard to do that, in many ways. And Diane understands the meaning of that. Then, fuck me every day little by little, that will be the case. Understood, 100. Man commander. When I intentionally call her commander, Diane laughs as if she is panting with ha ha ha. Absolutely, 10. Man captain. And I made her lower body overflow with my semen. Night. All men gather in the bathroom. It's almost time to finish cleaning, absolutely. Let's finish it tomorrow. I sit in the bath alongside Isaac and Williams. When? Suddenly. 100. Man commander, I recently entered with the girls, Diane comes in proudly. So far so good. No. Maya. Chan. Everyone is surprised at the same time. Maya. Andy. Sama, I told her that I was originally taking a bath with the men, Diane smiled bitterly. Ballast. Dear, Kuan, Uo. Hilda. Sensei, everyone is surprised again. I'm also surprised. Well, because these people are from a culture where they don't care if they are seen naked in a bathhouse, is it alright? When I think about that. Excuse me. It is a wolf beastman girl who came in with a bright red face. Regular soldier Mikagami. Everyone makes a lot of noise. Of course, staring. What are you doing? That's, from Commander Diane, I heard that it was the quickest way to blend in. Hey, Isaac is full of cold sweat. As Mikagami bathes so as to be hidden in his arms. Conclusion. Oh, when girls come in, it's rather a paradise, but not as much a paradise as I thought. I hate it. It was an agreement in the dressing room. But Lance and Goto have been working on freely masturbating as ever. They are too strong. Chapter 88. Weekend Hot Spring Trip, Jean, Apple Selenium, Maya, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 88. Weekend Hot Spring Trip, Jean. Apple. Selenium. Maya, I plunge through the clouds. As I climb over the Serpent Mountain range with snow on my head, the blue dragon's wings point downward as the wind blows down. It is said that it is easier to fly to the terrain than to fly too high, but even without it, the view on the plain where the green carpet spreads is beautiful and it was fun to see. It's coming soon. Normally it will take 3 days with a carriage from the Serpent Mountain range to Polka. I felt a little embarrassment to myself who got used to moving with a dragon while giving a bitter smile to the smiling Selenium. It has become a luxury. I hope Layla was obedient, a little worried, or perhaps I should say, Diane folded her arms seductively. She is not a useless or a foolish guy either, I'm not worried about her going wild. I think she is going to recommend wine to Jean as well. That's okay, isn't it? Hilda opens her medical book dexterously next to Diane. Yes, I think it's safe for dwarf pregnant women. It says that there has never been a problem with drinking so far. The book will blow elder sister away. It's alright. AAA, Hilda is blown away by the wind from the side as she said that. She loses her balance trying to hold the medical book. And this on Maya's back. Once you're mossy, it's a big pinch. But. I caught you. Apple, who was immediately behind, caught Hilda's hand tightly. Sorry, but I would like to say. Don't overdo it, Apple. I'm not scared. Apple fixed her body to Maya's back thorn with a rope. The rope amount is unusual. About 8 ropes are tied to her body and she can only be counted as a package. It's a kind of self-judgment that is almost nothing about punishment. In other words, she caught Hilda as her body was not moving at all. If older sister is about to fall, I will do something. However, I'm not responsible for the book. Manage your belongings by yourself. Diane has a strong sense of balance with her natural balance, so she may be on the back of a dragon while being calm. I can't imitate it a little. But I didn't think that Diane would come with us. What, do you wonder if I will see Layla or Jean? Well, I thought you prioritized the management of the core. If it is our core, it'll be fine. As Zeros and Isaac are there, are they matchless people for the next 100-man commander candidates? Certainly, if you put those two people, well, they will make it somehow as long as they don't just put their corps into war. In a word, I'm a little jealousy of those two who are trusted in their commanding ability. No, I'm sure, the lower handrail is the one who quits with the next formation. Moreover, Layla is a good friend, A stupid voice comes out. Just a little more, I thought I would look like a teacher looking at a problem child. It's not strange, at so. She has a sense of responsibility to say what she is, and she can put in credibility. I'm close to her age, so I can talk to her. I can't imagine for a while that 2.100-year-olds talk together. But, indeed, both Layla and Diane are ridiculous forces, and if they are safe they are certainly close. Unexpectedly, hardship is similar at one go. They have both big tits. They have an exposure madness. No, just because they don't care about exposure, is it rude? Unexpectedly, there are many common points. Andy. We arrived at Polka, as Chibi Maya appeared on my shoulder and reported, when I leaned out a bit, I could see the familiar terrain. It's been a week, but it isn't a long time. The guards welcomed us who came to the outside of the town. Oh, well you come, Andy, Selenium.Chan, Hilda. Sensei and 100-man Commander Diane are also welcome. Both Johnny and Keel lean against the Rubato gate and they both feel the city's peace with the appearance of having lunch. Seriously you guards, even if you come from the south, we can see the horses 10 minutes away from the front. It's pretty easy nowadays because sometimes the elves are hunting for monsters themselves. If you don't want to wear an armor, I can't think of you as a guard, especially when you have lunch in front of the gate. I want to ask for attention because it is just a little. When we enter Polka, we notice that the town is lively. I thought it would be sad because all the crossbow corps members left. What about that figure? Oh, hello animal trainer, hello, I think I must correct the various misunderstandings. My name is Christy of the Cherry Blossoms clan. An elf that has been taken care of us before like Gorkas and Irina. Certainly not a clan chief, but she should be a main character. Christy was leading a crowd and spreading the city to the square. Unusual handcrafts, horns of horned horses and fruits. They sell variously. What are you doing? This time I am going to send foreign students from the Cherry Blossoms clan to earn foreign currency etc. Well, Polka has foreign currency, certainly a horse horn. I feel that at Celesta it was worth a couple of houses. Will the Baron buy one? What is this? The horn of an horned horse is 100 gold coins. Selenium's voice is overturned. I can drink Aunt Lindsay's specially made miraculous spring water with 1 gold coin. If it is a cafeteria there, it is a meal with 10 sheets. Of course, even if it is 100 pieces, it is a little suspicious even if it is a house or even a single sword. Is it too expensive? Christy is confused. You'd better have the price repaired by Irina's Silver Company. I thought that it was possible to get it by the ignorance of only a little and to be able to make a profit. Layla and Jean were waving in front of the gate when we reached the Baron's mansion. 10-man cap, Andy, are you fine? That's the serif. No, Jean.Chan, waving your hand will push your limit. That's bad. I think dwarves are a race that are difficult to mislead, so they think that it is probably okay. There is never a time when you change. Layla, look and you will see. Layla smiles broadly. Certainly they both look healthy and above all. Yes, so then Layla.Chan and Jean.Chan enter the room. Hilda urges the two. At first they will be examined. Jean raises a voice that seems dissatisfied in the flow of time to rejoice again. Or do you diagnose outside? I will take my clothes off. Yua, suddenly a maniac. Ho, nothing other than my owner's preference, my fault. Or rather, Layla, don't undress. Suddenly, they were two no-good people. While Layla and Jean are examined by Hilda. Sensei, we greeted the Baron and everyone entered the hot spring. Of course, it's Layla's partitioned space. All of us except for N0s and Aurora, who remained in Ba-sun, and Diane, who decided to drink tea with Irina, are in the hot spring. Jean.Chan is doing well. Layla is completely cured by the time we come next time. I can't hear Hilda.San's examination result, as a useless dragon and useless pregnant woman cling to me. Ho ho, you've been gone for a long time. Did you feel lonely? Andy's penis is handsome as usual. Layla starts to lick my son with her long tongue, and Jean was about to slip her body on my crotch. But there is a stop from Hilda. Jean.Chan is not allowed to have the penis inserted for a while. You'll be stable after another 2 months, so you need to endure till then. Jean is downhearted. Somewhat I need patience when I'm pregnant, it can't be helped, it's because of the baby. I gently stroke Jean's hair. I want to enjoy Jean's cute body as much as I can in the mountains. Recently, the unique color incense has begun to drift in the thin and tiny space, and it is only because a hug has actually come out. Then, is a dummy not good? Jean looked at Hilda with an pleading expression. Hilda put her hand on her cheek and smiled as she drew her big tits closer. If it's a blowjob, it's not so intense, but you move your head up and down, I do it. I wonder what she really thinks. You mean? I will do it. Jean was also quite common. However, some people rebelled against the fellatio permission. No, not good, Jean.Chan. We also want to get pregnant, Selenium and Apple. The pressure from Maya, who sits behind me silently, is also high. If you want to waste baby juice with a blowjob, please pour it into us. Yeah, wasting it. No matter how much waste it is. When you leave I need to endure a week. You guys are together all day. That's right, but, it seems that two can't understand it. However, I don't think that Jean will be satisfied either. Ho. Then the story is easy, Layla nods composed. What's easy? Jean doesn't need sperm anymore, but she want to do a blowjob. Selenium doesn't want to waste the seed. Do you think that there is no contradiction? I slowly bring my dick close to Jean's mouth. I always think that it is a bit unreasonable with her small mouth, but still Jean can swallow till the base. And Jean begins to move her head after entangling her tongue around my son. Ngu, nnn, bu, nu, nnnnn, magoo. Jean works hard while devising the tip of the glands on the back of her cheek, putting it on the upper jaw and swallowing it in the back of her throat so as to knead the mouth. I indulge in the pleasures of the flesh which is gently given while looking at her thin shoulder and flat chest line, as well as the delicate nape. As soon as I start and my waist begins to shake unconsciously, Jean sucks me and takes control of my movement. From the obscene movement that seeks me for a while, she is ready to wait for the ejaculation according to my hip movement obediently. However, if she waits in this way, eventually I must support Jean's head and I have to act to shake my back toward her mouth. I look into Hilda's eyes. However, even if she stops us, it is decided to indulge to the masturbation by using Jean's mouth. Nnn, nmu, nnn, nku, nnn. I'm careful not to raise the speed so that I don't force Jean, while still seeking my own pleasure. I shake my hips. A vulgar noise can be heard from Jean's mouth. And where the slight pleasures have risen, Jean, come, take it out, it's coming. Boo-hoo, oh, hee-hoo, I pulled out my penis from Jean's mouth and pierced rudely into Apple's vagina, who had been waiting for it, in the middle. How, you. And, while I taste the inside of the vagina with joy and poke the inside a couple of times, I ejaculate in the depth as it is. Hiya. Apple squeezes my son happily by pressing her butt together and receiving the semen in her uterus and comes into close contact. I spit enough sperm into her uterus and just pulled out of her vagina just when it was done again and returned to Jean's mouth again. As Jean was waiting, she started to serve my little brother again. You're fine with this, when it comes to so much work, she has a little bitter face from hearing my question. It is good, but not what I wanted. Happily, while holding her breath, Apple smiles with a lingering taste. In response, Selenium pushed out her butt. But the sperm swims in the womb of a girl. Next to Selenium, Maya also nods and presents her pussy. I use Jean's mouth to energize myself and work hard to come inside everyone's womb. L.RG. Yes. Is that so? I would also welcome such a random seeding. Don't say it on the basis of a pervert that is going to urinate into your womb. Ho. So you think so too? That's why, 3 of my female slaves, which are Selenium, Apple, and Maya, have expressions of anticipation, rather than expressions of disgust, particularly. I am, is it okay? Well, better than wasting the semen, I'm a slave dedicated to this penis. It doesn't matter in any way, I keep the fellatio with Jean and come into Selenium's and Maya's vagina. So, somewhat, ho, what do you rest? You have a womb that you haven't used yet. Eehee. Here is one too, let's do it normally, everyone. Now, Diane. The main subject is, when I think, you're strangely obedient, you're still having troubles. Good grief, you're a woman, I'm not strange, only this time, what is it? We haven't done it yet. It's uncertain. A state was discovered in the interior of the demon territory, what? We just can't do it alone. I don't know what will happen, but, in some cases history will move, TL note. This is a talk between Diane and Irina at the same time as Andy's bath time fun. Chapter 89. For an Elf, first part. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 89. For an Elf. First part. When I left the hot spring tiredly, Diane and Irina walked from the other side before I could walk a lot. How can you get tired like that, when you came out of the hot spring? Diane looked surprised. Well, was it so easy to understand? No, I tried to make an excuse, but I was interrupted by the sound of Irina's folding fan. Well, I had endured the hardship of a soldier for a week. There's no point in being able to cross the business, I'm getting tired soon, but I don't remember being in the profession of being an animal trainer, hate. Don't look serious like an ambassador. In such a place where friends appeared from behind me, Irina squeezed her hand with the folding fan and raised attention. I will prepare for a feast at the Cherry Blossom Clan tonight. If you can come, by all means, I would like you to come to the feast as well, okay? The girls who listen to the word feast. Ho, a feast. Cherry blossoms. There's rice and amounts of horse meat, perhaps that's the horned horse or something like that. Yup, hi, Selenium is very familiar with it. The land of the Cherry Blossom Clan is certainly about 5 times as large as the other regions, because of the horned horses. Is there any alcohol? If not, Layla.Chan, I request you to bring a barrel of Great Ice Field, ho, leave it to me. Is there a limitation? I don't feel like I want to go. Smithson.Donna, will you come, too? Well, what kind of banquet is it? Irina looked at Diane, and after having some wiggles, she smiled laughingly and said. It's a farewell party for the exchange students of the Cherry Blossom Clan. The total number of exchange students from the Cherry Blossom Clan was 4. It seems that 2 people go to the royal capital and 2 to folklore. From the life of the elves, it will not be a great deal of time for a few years of study abroad, but it is still a journey with no security guarantee in a sense. There is no doubt that they will be sent out grandly. But is it a good thing to eat the horned horse? It was said that there used to be a lot in the northern part of the continent, but now the horned horse is even called a mythical beast. How much meat resources do they have at hand, but is it a good thing to eat them? I mean, Breakcore is also a horned horse, right? Wouldn't it get angry if it knew we were eating its family? Even if the horned horse is valuable, it is livestock for us. Christy, the deputy clan chief, offered sashimi of the one-horned horse with a friendly grin. For the time being, delicious is delicious. Ho, if it is delicious, you should eat a mythical beast or monster. As we all need to die anyway, no matter where you go along the way there will be a big difference. I suppose it would be like a dragon, even if it is said that it is diligently released as much as Layla. I have a little trouble. For dragons, even humans are small animals that they just don't eat because they don't like them. However, the going-on party is quite exciting without waiting for nightfall. Songs and dances dedicated to the spirit of light, folk music such as harp and ocarina, etc. are followed by exotic and rewarding offerings to people from outside like me. And as the day fell, the singing voices of the elves' prayers to the light spirits was a sign that the feast was likely to continue. My belly is full. I sat down with my back against a nearby tree and took a rest. There was the flight and the hot spring event today, so I felt a little tired now. It's a little bad for Christy and Irina, but I would like to go to sleep now, and when I think about that. Smithson. Dono, Gorkas, Orange Clan's Gorkas was standing a few steps away. Are you tired? No, well, I feel like I want to take a break. Gorkas's fine line of thinness or elegance may be a place that is full of willingness, not knowing the word fatigue or hesitation, that he has to learn a little as a fellow man. Though I thought about it, he didn't give up on me, who is starting to feel a bit depressed, as Gorkas sat down next to me. Well, after your little rest, can you come to Christie's mansion? Christie. Gorkas nodded firmly when hearing it back while being vaguely for a moment. Yup, nodding without thinking. Well, I go into dozing for a while. At the end of the line, Layla, Jean, Selenium, and Apple were seen chatting happily between the bonfires. Everyone seems to be having fun. Above all, suddenly, the party's program was over and the rest was in an atmosphere of chattering and laughing. Half of the bonfire burned off and disappeared, and firewood is being added only near the dining table. I shake my head and stand up. I remember that, after a deep drink, my memory will be somewhat numb, but I still remember what I was told by Gorkas because I haven't had a drink today. Christie's house, I ate too much horse meat and got a little heavy belly, so I look around and aim for the largest house properly. Good evening. This elf's mansion has 2 floors, but no matter how deep the room is, the door has no knocker. It's unthinkable for Trot or Celesta to have a house of this size without a door knocker and a courtesy servant. But there is an elf. It has only huge ears, and it seems that it can hear me just by calling it in front of the entrance. Welcome, Smithson. San. Christie welcomes me, looks behind me and looks a little surprised. I turned around and saw Diane and Selenium. Distance is less than 2 meters. I didn't notice them at all. If we leave you alone, you will flirt with anyone. That's right, I was suspected by those 2. No, well, I can't deny it from the current behavior. I can't say that I wasn't thinking that I would call Christie by name only on this night while I was walking, but Christie didn't do anything. At least trust me a little bit, I protest in a low voice. I can't trust you if you are at least not condemned. Men usually say that what they do are debt, and women. Yuwa, they both have thorns. Christie, who heard such exchanges, laughed. You 2 are welcomed. It will be a long story, so follow me. That said, she opened the door a bit wider. We passed to the room behind the house. It was a large dining room, probably a gathering place for a village, a hall that might fit about 100 people. It seems that even a little exercise can be done. Under such circumstances, 4 old men and 4 young elves stood inside silently. Did he come? Someone said so with a hoarse voice and stroking his beard. Green Clan Shaquille. We've been waiting, Andy Smithson. We would like to talk with you, a friend of the elves, Irina's voice. That means, this is a part of the clan's meeting. That same group of people, except for the change of the Silver and Red clan chiefs, stared at me and Diane. Do you know about the other side of the Snake Mountain, the demon territory? More or less, I return a little unreliable answer to Gold Clan's Oliver's question. I know that there is an area called the Demon Territory. Beyond the Snake Mountains, at a mid-latitude between Celesta and Trot, north of the Renfanga's kingdom, country is a lawless area where hordes of demons live. An area of evil monsters who continue to be born from no matter how many you kill. The reason is that hundreds of years ago, the local labyrinth was destroyed at once by the local people who broke the evil equipment that generated the demons. As a result, the earth has become a land where bad chi is concentrated firmly and other labyrinths collapsed and annihilated the nations of the humans, elves, and beast men. Now it is a barren land that no one can step on. That earth is a world of wicked and atrocities that rejects living things. The horde of demons will not decline even if the best of Renfanga's kingdom continues to kill tens of thousands each year. There is only a paradise of endless blooded demons beyond that. Old Man Oliver, Purple Clan's Old Woman Alma and Blue Clan's Old Man voice follow the words like a narrator. But I suppose, an unfamiliar man follows up. He is similar to Deal, so he should be the new clan chief of the Red Clan. The story is going to change. Irina took over the subject. One of the 6 extinct northern countries. In the center, the kingdom of Calwyn still exists, in the middle of the demon territory. Or rather, it was hundreds of years ago that the demon territory became the demon territory, isn't that right, Diane? San, it's about 300 years ago. My sister should know it, but I wasn't born then. Diane nods. For so long, wasn't it thought that it was destroyed? How did they survive? I don't know. No one has confirmed it yet. Irina shakes her head. Then why? There appeared a person in Renfangas who came from Calwyn, Gorka said. Renfangas. Temporarily, Celesta and Trot are not in a state of war with Renfangas among the nations. But, certainly, there is always a certain tension. Renfangas's army is extremely high in individual combat ability, and it is the evaluation of the surrounding countries that a strong general could form the strongest corps that far surpasses the Swords Brigade. When you think that they might attack in the future, you must be prepared. Then, it doesn't matter much to us, whether it is Celesta or Trot, you have to say that Renfangas is far from being friendly. As for the elves who continued the seclusion by the barrier, there might not be diplomatic relations. Under such circumstances, it is meaningless to receive such information. That's a huge problem, as they can't do anything with a single soldier. No. We concluded that you were suitable, Irina said. What's the story? The moment I said that, Selenium suddenly thrust away my back. The next moment, Diane suddenly moved like a whirlwind. While I don't know what happened, I roll and raise my sight. Diane was twisting a white elf swordsman's sword, who seems to have jumped here from the side. What? Who are you? Diane kicks the swordsman with a front kick and takes some distance. Selenium softly lands beside me and pulls out a knife. When Diane asked this question, the elf swordsman slowly lifts his arm. The showy golden armor, no, only the handle is golden. The fist is a wolf's design. That is. Gold arm, Renfanga's master swordsman. Diane muttered as if to throw it out. What does that mean, Irina? You may as well go as far as to call him a visitor. The gold arm holds his sword when Irina says so. However, tension is emitted. I can't but tell the story that the man is eligible. From behind the silent gold arm, 2 elf swordsmen emerge from the shadows. Were they hiding in an illusion? The gold arm and one other man. The last one is a woman. Each of them has a pair of armor, while the other 2 wear a black armchair with the same design. Do you disagree with the blessing of the 9 clans? Human, monster. Like impurity. I can only hear the words of the 9 clans. The black arm woman insists to speak. But let's thank you more or less, we meet for the first time. We are Renfangas's Gauntlet Knights. The 3 elves put their gauntlet arms into the form of an X in front of their chest. Chapter 90. For an Elf, second part. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The 3 Renfangas knights wore identically dusky armor, but the two on the outside are wearing black gauntlets while the one in the center is wearing a gold gauntlet. It's a bit strange from a regular swordsman's attire. Usually, the color of the armor is different from that of the gauntlet and it is regarded as an informal appearance. However, when three people cross the arm so that the little finger side is turned to the front, and the wrist is returned by the movement to show the emblem of the hand, the fashion sense is blown away by overwhelming persuasion. The color of their gauntlets, the crest of the back of their hands, is not part of the armor. The claim that it is pride itself is transmitted. We are the Gauntlet Knights of Renfangas. The movement is surely equivalent to their salutes, like sword saints, swords set on the ground and a heart-raising pose, and ace knights, praying with the weapon raised in front of the chest. I am the lowest seat of the Glory clan, Gold Arm Felios. It is the man in the middle that slowly introduces himself. While he has the skeleton of a slender elf, his body feels supple strength. He looks very pretty, but he has a rather long hair which is bound together and he has sharp eyebrows like a mercenary rather than a noble. I'm also from the Glory clan, Black Arm Burga. Of the two black arms, the man predominates. This is a sword wound on his left eye. No, is it a demon claw wound? Anyway, it is crushed by a big wound and I get the impression that he is a samurai-like warrior from the hair that has been cut short. I don't know well what he is thinking, because it is difficult to see his expression with that big wound. I'm also a member of the Glory clan, Black Arm Sharon. The only one left is the female Black Arm. She has a ponytail. Other than the other two, she is more elf-like, with the fineness of her body lines, the elegance of her movement and the beauty of her face. But, in a bad sense, an elf-like pride was also visible in her sight. Northern Territory 9 clan heads. Because we are boneless people, I wouldn't like to be involved in such a joke. Because of this, it is important to insist upon a human, impurity and a monster-like black-chi person. What kind of cutback is desired? Following Felios' words, Sharon says that from behind. Ah. Elf in a really bad sense. Well, usually, elves respond to humans, half and dark elves like this. Recently I forgot about that as the people in the north get along well with us. On the other hand, as Gorkas and Irina try to open their mouths with angry faces, Green Clan head Shaquille Moth's control with his eyes and instead made a shout. Youngster over there, you raised that crest and spoke these words just now. In that fist's crest, we have confirmed our blessing in the name of Renfangas. The Green Clan chief questions Felios in a quiet, yet unspeakable voice. I think whether he is a senile old man or not, but the pressure of the age of 3,100 years is amazing. Just during the silent period, he let Felios feel his cold sweat. When? Please wait. After all, it is the ponytail lady, Sharon, who opened her mouth. I like to talk about negotiations. I apologize for having said a bit too much, but still we aren't convinced. We must bring this decision back to the palace as an answer from the northern forest. Tell me what you think and answer, or more precisely. That's right, Irina. Tell me what you are talking about. I ask Irina for an explanation. Originally I thought it was time to be explained, but suddenly I won't be able to talk. Well then, follow me. Smithson. Dono. Irina headed quickly for the exit and she was glared at by the Gauntlet Knight trio. Diane and Selenium follow her. Passing by, Diane whispered to Felios. Narrow escape from death. Felios looks back to Diane by turning his head and scrutinizes behind his sharp eyes. Diane smirks and snaps her finger. And, from Felios's waist, you heard a noise. The flustered Felios draw his sword. Beyond half of the blade remained in the sheath. You put out your hand to my man. You can feel lucky just as I did with a single sword. Countryside warrior, do you mock a gold arm? Don't be pretentious with a promotion at best in 3 years. You sully the other gold arms. Who are you? If you don't want to be called a countryside warrior, find it out yourself. Diane turned around, showing bloodthirst hidden behind a pleasant smile. Scary. After walking for a while and then instinctively, Diane coughed up and made him a little embarrassed. Yo, you were almost killed. It would be nicer to say something not so sarcasm, hoo. If it's Diane, the gold arm only can suffer from loss of face. The gold arm, as in the case of the swordsman system, is at the highest level in all cases. But unlike Master Sword Saints against Sword Saints, the gold arm, which corresponds to the Sword Saint, can't be defined as a multiplicity of fighting the power of a Master Sword Saint. The man called Felios is no more than a hair of an average Master Sword Saint. Even the three of them will not reach Bonaparte. Dono, it doesn't mean that the old man is not the only monster. When we got out of Christie's mansion, there were other girls such as Layla, Jean, and Maya. Ho! I heard the sound of a sword. When Layla had a harsh look, Diane shrugged. We'll talk from now on. Diplomatic issue, yes. It's just a diplomatic issue. Irina spreads her folding fan. In summary, it is this. A female swordsman seems to have reached Renfangas from Calwyn Kingdom, deep in the demon territory. However, confirmation has not been obtained yet. Calwyn's descendants formed a hiding place somewhere in the eastern mountainous area where the demons of the plains can't come in, and it was not possible to reach Renfangas, as the demon territory was cutting them off, but afterward, they got out of it somehow, which is only a speculation. Then if that is the case, it is still a good thing, nonetheless, that there is also a story that thieves and murderers are going to capture the border purposely to wash their career, and is not just putting aside a story. However, the woman had a coin of Calwyn as a talisman. It was half broken, but it still had the design of the Knights of Calwyn on it. In particular, that female swordsman's fighting power was equal to a black arm, same class as Great Sword Saint or Master Knight, and removed all skepticism. There are only a limited number of fighters in that class. Was she a genius like Diane, or a famous hero from somewhere? She must have been a prominent figure anyway. It's a bit overwhelmed by mischief that she fades in and flows into Renfangas and mentions the name of a ruined kingdom. However, Renfangas continues to struggle with the monsters of the demon territory even for free. It would be a historical discovery if Calwyn had survived, but it is impossible to put out an army that tears up the monsters just to confirm it. They can't afford it. So they send ambassadors to each country. Renfangas took out 3 of the 4 gold arms and proposed a survey team to Celesta, Trot and the Northern Elves. There is a possibility that Trot will break through the monsters with the Sword Saint Brigade. Celesta may get to Calwyn from the sky with their flying dragons. And in the Northern Forest, there is the Misty Palace and the Holy Beast. Wait a minute. The Holy Beast is from that labyrinth. It left, but Breakcore's force is a myth, still being transmitted to elves everywhere, and Misty Palace is still in relation with the Silver Clan, but Irina sighed. In addition to the fact that Breakcore is temporarily away from the labyrinth and fighting, there are no elves who have made a contract of power with a dragon of Misty Palace anymore. Yeah. The last rider was Minon, who died of illness the other day. All else is a knight's contract. Is that the rider of Old Man Brawl? Can you not ask about a dragon rider for a while? It's also a life-threatening story if you break through the monsters. If you don't take care of your dragon partner, you will end up thrown away by the dragon. Well, Phaser was also just thrown away. Isn't it supposed to be the request of a servant for a dragon? That's why, for us, Hero Smithson's team is the best choice to pick for us. Wait, when did I become a hero? Let me see. You became a hero for saving the life of the Red Clan chief, saving the Holy Beast, the symbol of the Northern Forest, becoming the partner of Sky Blue Clan's princess, letting Dark Green Clan's hero Knight Almeida surrender to you, and we heard that you have suppressed the internal dispute of Trot, so who is doubtful. Mostly I was only at the spot as support role, or it's an exaggeration. Despite all that, it is neither a lie nor exaggeration that 2 dragons are following you, right? Well, just that point. I can't stop thanking Layla and Maya for their help. And, it is said that neither Celesta nor Trot seems to be able to move about this time. I wonder if you will be able to help. I see, Trot's Sword Saint Brigade, if they want to organize it, they may not be able to do it, as the size of the former can't be hoped for, and above all, Trot royal family doesn't have military and martial rights yet. Celesta's Flying Dragon Unit is now an integral part of domestic communication and emergency movement and reconnaissance missions, and if there is a chance to jump in search of an illusory kingdom that isn't known if it is in the back of the demon territory, it is immeasurable. After all, no combat training has been done. If they have to land in the middle of the monsters carelessly, they are almost desperate. Inevitably, the best qualification that can be secured by the emissary route from the current Renfangas, will be me and my 2 dragons. The logic is right, Diane nods seriously. But, that means I have to take a break from the work of a soldier again, right? As Apple pointed out, it wouldn't be possible to fly in the morning and night in a matter of minutes. If you discover something, you will have to make contact and research, and if you are going back and forth many times, you will also need to find and secure a connection route. Even if it looks smaller, it will still take months. And if we're going to use it again for several months over this period, we have to consider retirement. There are some doubts about whether there is a duty to do so until we leave the job. It is a story that has nothing to do with either Polka or my lovers or my female slaves. I don't have to be attracted a bit if I'm involved in blacksmithing. I can't leave Polka anyway. More than that, I don't want Andy to be in danger. If they come to ask for something, it feels so bad that they are too bad. Jean and Selenium also look sullen. At least my body is perfect now. If Andy.Sama goes, I will go too. I'm a little curious, but what's going on? The balance is too light for Andy.Cohen. Is the Dragon Female Doctor Group standing neutral? As for me, I'd like to forgive you for being a bit unreasonable if you don't retire. Discovery of a kingdom that has disappeared from history. Certainly, it is romantic, but I have 9 wives, no, 1 married woman, so I have to work hard to support 8. There is only 1 other child. If you are working on the calculation that you put in the defense, Diane is hiding her mouth with her hand and moves her eyes to space. Something is known intuitively. I don't know what it is. Wait, that fellow probably going up, so either way, no, but because the core is a core, can I do it? Diane, San. When I call out to her, Diane looks at me. Then she let go of her hand and opened her mouth slowly to Irina. That's not going to happen in a few days. Well, so far, other powers will not hold back their hands. Can you wait for about 3 more months? 3 months. Yes, Diane nodded. It's time for the formation of the next corps. A few subordinates are promoted to 100-man commanders. That's it. Perhaps Isaac and N-Zeros will be 100-man commanders this time, and maybe Williams too. However, the crossbow is still a new special weapon and is not used elsewhere. No matter how successful or qualified a person can be for being a 100-man commander, that fellow can't afford to become a 100-man commander of a crossbow corps without any experience with it. Naturally, the number of 100-man commanders will increase and there will be room for division and new crossbow forces. So, let's reorganize the unit by taking advantage of the new formation and let us set up a special task so that we can somehow deal with this international problem. If all goes well, we may be able to cooperate by shaking hands. Human life is troublesome. Oh, don't say that. That's why there are many things we can do. Diane smirks. And I would like to let that country warriors walk in the ground. Is that so? I agree with her. Those who just laugh at half-elves and dark elves have their noses up. Apart from that, it is not such a big story to stop the discrimination that is widespread in the world. However, I want to let everyone know that my women are the best. Although I am a small human, it is like that. Yeah, let's see, those guests have a little bit of concern for us too. I want to hear the fact that Diane and everyone else has made things happen. Irina is also grinning. She has a bad personality. But if you can shake a major company and cooperate, there is nothing better than that. Because of the elves, I don't say that for the world, but at least Irina is already a friend in Polka. If a friend is in trouble, I immediately reach out my hand. I will help for the time being. Even my father was so. I respect the warmth that my father left for Polka.